I really love this little intro deal, this science satire thing. I really do.
We're living on a disk, floating through space, with a tiny sun.
Hey, I'm FTFE, welcome back to the channel that does to stupidity what Nathan Thompson did to Kent Hovind's SpongeBob gimmick. Because not only did he steal it, but he fucking ruined it. I've got a couple of videos coming up about Nathan Thompson, based on his performance in that debate. In fact, there's 3 scripts that have been started based on his performance in the debate. The first one is going over his, and I want to say the word evidence, but using the word evidence in the context of what Nathan presents actually gives me a headache. Like, my brain doesn't allow me to put evidence and what he gave together because it's so far from evidence. So I think I'm going to call the video the world's worst splatter of evidence ever. And then I've got one going over some of the responses he gave in the debate, and then I've got one that is the top 10 dumbest things Nathan Thompson said in his debate against me. And getting it down to 10 has been a hell of a job. But that's coming up because Nathan Thompson's a fucking idiot. Ding.
Ding.
Team is with me tonight, and Team Skeptic's been having a hell of a fucking time. Team, do you want to tell them what's been going on?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'll give everybody just a little heads up. Of course, most of you know last week I was pretty sick, and I don't want to say that I had the COVID virus or whatever that's going around, but then my son started getting sick, and had to take him to the hospital, and I had to take him to get tested, and we don't get the results for the test back until tomorrow or the next day. He's been struggling with breathing and sleeping, and he's had a really bad cough, and it's kind of scary, but it's whatever, you know, we'll get through it. But the day that I go to take him, or the day before I go to take him to get tested, I wake up in the morning and I check my analytics on my channel and everything was great. I run to the grocery store to get food. I come back and then there's a problem with my account, and apparently somebody had tried to hijack my account. My YouTube account, and they didn't get they didn't get very far with it because I'm very aware of my presence on YouTube, and the moment that something happened, I was on top of it. They got past my 2-step authentication. I still don't know how they got any of the information. You know, what YouTube said is it was probably something that I gave access to that abused its license agreement with me, but they can't really determine where that happened. But anyway, aside from that, I got my channel back. But my last 8 videos now have all been removed by YouTube for inappropriate content. Not just my last 8 videos, but also my last 15 or so live streams.
Yeah,
there's
like
also now
beginning
a
of
hold
February.
on yeah. There's also a hold on my AdSense account, which has been released, but it'll take 2 months before I receive another payment from YouTube. So most people out there know this is my full-time job. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen or how I'm gonna make it to the next payment, but I'll figure something out. I mean, there's just a lot of shit going on right now. I'm sick still. You can barely hear me talking. But I got my channel back. So for anybody out there that's been asking or wondering, I do have actual possession of my channel. I'm waiting for them to fix the other problems with the, excuse me, with the removal. And I'll be the first ones to let you guys know about what goes on, as well as, you know, when we get the results back from the test that were run the other day, we'll be sure to let you guys know first what was being said.
So
what the test came back as.
You've got your channel back, which is a big thing. But basically, you won't be able to be paid until, well, probably June now.
Yeah.
through
Yeah, that's
YouTube.
probably about right.
Yeah. So they've really, when this shit happens to people like us, it can really, really fuck with our lives. I hope that
Yeah.
your son's all right, and I'm sure he is.
That's my main concern. I'm not worried about the money. The YouTube stuff, it freaks me out because it's like, damn, this is literally how I eat. You know what I'm saying? I
Yeah.
get the money once a month, and I plan my month out, and I try to stick to my plan and budget right and grow my channel and get a little bit more each month than the last month. But, I put a lot of my eggs in this one basket when I closed down my business and went into this. And it's been over a year. I don't even have that excuse anymore. But now I need, it's just an unexpected speed bump. The main thing I'm worried about is my kid. I just want him to come back negative tomorrow or the next day or whenever we get it. So that way we can continue self-isolating ourselves and not being potential, spreaders of anything until everything gets, until they get a hold of it. So sorry that I'm a little low quality sounding right now.
It's cool. We got your back, bro. And I think we're going to do a stream on your channel tomorrow, aren't we, and have some fun.
Yeah, tomorrow night I'm gonna go over everything tomorrow night. I got a channel update that's I'm gonna talk about tomorrow night. With everything that's been going on, me and my son have had a good chance to talk about what my future is going to be here on YouTube. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not leaving, of course. I'm not doing anything differently. I just think I have to have more of a professional business plan for what I'm doing, so I can stop just doing it for fun and start doing it for his, for his future and his children's future. So, we're going to talk about that tomorrow night and have some fun with it.
I fucking love watching you, bro, and I'm sure everyone else does. And, it's a chance for you to re-release those videos, maybe. Who knows? But anyway.
I don't like doing that, so.
No.
But, I got you. Thank
you.
So,
no worries. Tonight we have back on the channel J.L. Warren, who was on Monday debating whether that religion and Christianity is correct. He's back today to debate the similar subject with a returning character to the channel, Why You Are an Idiot, who I debated a couple of times. So first of all, let's just go over and say hello to J.L. Warren. Sorry, team,
Fight. Let me step out. Yeah, let me go ahead and step out. I wanted to go ahead and get my gracious exit before y'all get started on it.
All right, no worries.
Thank you for having me on. And JL, good luck. Why You're an Idiot, self-explanatory. I'll catch you guys later.
See you there, bud. Right, so let's go over to J.L. Warren, and we'll let J.L. Warren, first of all, just introduce himself and state his case on what he thinks about religion versus atheism, and what shape he thinks the Earth is as well. Why not? Over to you, bud.
Absolutely. Thank you, Craig. Thank you so much for having me on again. I appreciate it. I'm JL. I'm a podcaster, and I am an atheist. So before I start anything, I wanted to send out some love to Team. I know he's going through some hard times, but we're all here for you, bud. We're rooting for you. So good luck with that. If you need anything, let us know. My argument here is I argue that atheism in this day and age, at this point in the extent of our knowledge of reality in the universe, is, in the narrowest sense, the only objectively true position to hold. Atheism does not address the unfalsifiable notion of a god or gods or any deities, but solely rejects the claim on the basis of a lack of evidence. Atheists approach the great questions from an empirical and objectively supported approach, and we do not reach to extraordinary claims, interpretation of phenomena, arguments from incredulity, or unverifiable anecdotes to posit conclusions regarding such questions. So I'm hoping that through this conversation I have with my opponent, my goal is to kind of address some fundamentals, kind of the problems of and dangerous results of faith-based systems, religion's reduction of personal and societal freedoms, and the recipe for disaster of fear-based morality systems. I also want to ensure a complete understanding that religion of any kind is rooted in human beings' very earliest and most ignorant attempts to attempt to understand our world, and the patterns, the multitude of patterns that we saw in it, and that we have over the past 100,000 or so years through scientific exploration of our world, have come to the conclusion that primordial and superstitious pattern explanation has no place in determining truth.
Muted myself there.
I'll pass
all
it
right.
to him.
Thank you very much, JL. And like I said, returning to the channel, we have Why You Are an Idiot. And he is arguing the stance that religion is true, there is a God, and that the earth is definitely flat. So, welcome back to the channel, Why You're an Idiot. How are you doing?
Hey, Craig, how you guys been?
Not
One,
bad.
besides the fact that some of the stuff he just said just sounds, it's so, one, how do I say this? It's so religious, the things he just said. He tries to act like he's not religious, but he is. It's so religious, the things he just said. Like,
Interesting.
some of the stuff
All right, well,
atheists believe
we can get
are
into his
imaginary.
arguments. So why don't you just first state your case, introduce yourself, state your case, and then we can get into the debate.
Okay. Sorry, it's just some of the stuff he said. Oh, God. But yeah. One, I am a Bible believer. I believe Father, Son, Holy Spirit, etc. But I also believe the other ancient religions of the ancient past. Sumerian, Greek, Norse, Vedic Sanskrit, and a few more, of course. I believe these are all true stories. These are all one event. These really happened. There's enough evidence, like physical evidence, to actually state my case for it. As for atheism, it's become a joke at this point. It's fairy tales and imaginary things, basically. And it's so easy to break down it, atheism at this point, because basically you pretty much all believe almost the same thing, with a few differences here and there, but it's pretty much all the same. But yeah, that's my stance.
Okay.
And my channel is called Why You Are an Idiot. And the reason I made my channel is because I noticed when I was on Reddit and on other forums and YouTube, I noticed that atheists couldn't even read the Bible, the Quran, Norse. They couldn't even read text properly. And I've made several videos on this, that they can't even read properly. So it's like, okay, if you can't even read the text properly, how are you going to judge it? Exactly. Okay. So, I don't see atheist or atheism as anything smart. I see it as stupid, dumb, ignorant. Okay. And anyone who believes in it is a retard.
Straight in there, lovely. Before we get going, just a couple of super chats. We've got Sergzy for $5 says, "Hi FTFE for anti-stress drink. Cheers. That'll go towards my tequila fund. Thank you very much." And second best Bob for £5 says, "Keep safe, everyone." Yes, definitely everyone in this crazy ass time. Definitely stay safe. But let's get straight into it. And while you're in it, you had some issues with JL's opening statement, and you said that was actually very religious. So why don't you two just discuss that? Tell him why you think that.
Actually,
yeah, go ahead.
I apologize. If I can, I'm sorry, I apologize. Something real quick I wanted to clarify, just for my own personal edification. There's something that I wanted to confirm with you. Do I just call you W, or what do you prefer?
Yeah, you can call me CJ. You can just call me CJ.
CJ. Okay, CJ. Yeah. I wanted to confirm.
You know Shannon Q? You know Shannon Q?
Yes, I do. Yeah, yes, I do.
Yeah.
I know of her. I don't. I know of her. I don't know her personally.
I called in and we had a small little talk right there. So yeah, just call me CJ.
Okay, so we'll go by CJ. That's fantastic. There's just, before we jump in, I wanted to kind of confirm something, and then I just had a kind of quick question for you, just real fast. So to confirm something, from watching your videos and listening to your conversations, are you a Western presuppositional Calvinist, or would you say you're more on the side of Arminianism in regards to predetermination?
No, I believe everything is based on choice. I don't believe in the whole predetermination thing. I believe everything is based on choice. Even God makes choices. We make choices.
Well, are you Calvinist, or are you Arminianist?
It's just, how do I say this? I don't like to put myself in those boxes. I'm just, if I was just to be real. No, if I was just to be real, I'll tell you at least what I am. I'm a Bible,
CJ,
it's okay. I'll tell you that.
No, that was the kind of confirmation I was looking for. So before we dive into the big heavy meaty stuff, the one thing I wanted to kind of clarify, to kind of ask you is throughout your work, you seem to have a sound epistemology in regards to others, okay, or a pretty stern epistemology in regards to others, but you don't seem to apply that same epistemology to yourself. So your burden of proof for others that you converse with or others that you talk about is astoundingly strict. And you don't seem to hold yourself to the same standard. I'm kind of curious how you rationalize that contradiction in your epistemology.
No, it's just give me. I'm very simple. Give me physical evidence. I need a video, a picture, something that's like literal here on this earth, not somewhere like out in imaginary space, somewhere here on this earth. Because
So you're saying, are you saying you?
there have been times I've had to take back my word. I will say that. Like I've had to take back what I thought, and I've had to rethink and relook at the information because I'm human. I'm not perfect. But
Okay,
I
so
eventually
you're
come to
so
a conclusion.
okay. So you are you saying you start with you're basically your epistemology is empirical? That's where you start, or
I start mainly based off physical evidence and things I've seen in my life. Now we've all seen different things, so that's going to be a whole basket of worms right there. Because trust me, some of the things I've seen, you haven't seen.
well,
So
that's one thing I kind of hope to avoid is because it's intellectually dishonest of me, just like with my previous opponent. It's intellectually dishonest of me to tell you that you didn't feel something that you felt or experience something that you experienced. I think your interpretation from those experiences is mistaken, which is something that can very easily happen. Our five senses are the multiple senses we have, especially our five primaries, are terrible in interpreting the world. So I would never hazard to say that you didn't feel something or didn't experience something. Your interpretation of those, I do question. But ultimately, it's kind of like you hold others to that strong epistemology, but you don't seem to hold yourself to that. And I'm trying to address whether that is purposely done or if that might be side on the area of Dunning-Kruger. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm just trying to get a clarification from you on that.
no, it's just I'm able to hold myself to that standard because of what I've seen in my life, and I've seen some stuff that, trust me, you won't believe. You won't believe. And it wasn't like some of the stuff, yeah, I've experienced alone, but then there's some stuff I've experienced when there's people outside with me, meaning the general public is out there with me. So it's like, this isn't something that I'm the only one seeing. This is something that everyone else is seeing. And then it's like, okay, everyone else is seeing it. So I'm not going crazy. Everyone else saw it too.
Okay, I have zero doubt whatsoever that you believe you've seen things. Your interpretation of what those events might be, I think, is subject to debate, is open to interpretation, is highly, highly subjective. Like I said, I can't attest to your personal experience, so it'd be disingenuous for me to do that. But I pretty much I got the answer to my question. I got my clarification, so we can move on. You had something to say about my opening statement.
Yeah, you keep saying atheism is probably the most. How do I say this? You probably said atheism is what the most
Objectively,
rational thing right now.
no, objectively true position to hold, because there's a difference
Yeah.
between objective truth and personal truth, and it is objectively true,
Okay. That's
not personally true,
completely.
not
Yeah,
personally
I
true,
know.
objectively true.
It is
Yeah.
just completely false. That's completely false. There's so many assumptions
Well,
that go
well,
into atheism.
well. You make that you say that atheism is false, but atheism can only be false if atheist makes a claim, and atheism doesn't make a claim.
Yes,
Atheism
it does. It makes
rejects
tons of claims.
the claim.
First claim,
No,
it
no,
claims God does not
no,
exist.
no, no. Atheism rejects the claim that God exists because of a lack of evidence. It does not say. Now, there may be some hardline, or there may be some hardline atheists that will, they'll stand up and say, "I don't believe that God exists." Okay, but the actual, like, from the definitive, from atheism, from the breakdown, atheism or atheist is simply a reject or a disbelief or a lack of belief in the claim of a god or gods or deities, and the basis of that is the lack of evidence to support any claim, because there's no verifiable evidence to support that. So that's why we reject the claim. We make no claims ourselves, because for us to make a claim would be disingenuous, because God is unfalsifiable, and we don't address unfalsifiables. Once it becomes falsifiable, then we can address it, because then we can include it as a part of the scientific model.
No, you are going to have a hard time to be. Woo, this is going to be fun.
Them's
Oh,
fighting
yeah.
words.
No, it's not. It's not so much fighting words. It's just that I'm going to bring stuff to you that I'm pretty sure you've never heard of. I'm pretty sure you've never thought of it in
try and
your
remember,
goddamn life.
but try and remember that your subjective experiences aren't they're irrelevant to the unfalsifiable notion of God. So you can interpret something
What I'm
one
going to
way.
show is an experiences. I'm not saying I won't talk about my experiences, but what I'm going to show is not experiences. What I'm going to show is real. Anyone can go take a plane and travel to these places. Anyone can do it. So this isn't something of me going, well, I think, or I know, or, maybe over here, I have faith in this. No, the majority of what I believe has physical evidence to it. And then the other parts, there are some parts that, I don't have physical evidence for.
Well,
I went
if
through.
you
That's just the
have
reality of it.
any evidence that you want displayed while you're an idiot, please just send it to me and I'll put it up on the screen. Please do definitely send your evidence through. We
Yeah.
would all of us would definitely love to see that.
Well, CJ,
yeah, go talk.
I was saying, I kind of, as I was going through your content, I had pretty much went to play since I got this information from Craig. I've been listening to all of your work. Since I got that, the number of I snapshotted about, I'd say about 95, almost 100 pictures out of your videos, and just did some rudimentary back checking on those, and I've traced the vast majority of them back to conspiracy websites and sites that are not empirically sound, or sites that don't have empirical, or basically are not based in empirical science. Basically, there's just people posting up things in kind of the echo chamber, the conspiracy echo chamber. But every time I go to look for verifiable science, or to look at the sources, I can't verifiably find anything in any local news or any local municipalities or any local governments that verify the same thing, because these would be epic things if we discovered them. Some of the claims you make are truly world-changing, but no, I mean, even in some of these third world nations, or say even the ones in China, they don't go back. The Chinese government doesn't, there's not even in Chinese archaeological sites, they don't mention these things. So they don't even log them. They don't even talk about them as being hoaxes. Yeah, they don't even talk about them as being hoaxes. They just...
No. It's not that they're fake. They're real. It's just that you need to understand in the 1900s.
Okay, how do you know that they're real?
In the 1900s, these are on newspapers all over the earth. I can bring you freaking documented newspapers all over the earth talking about these things.
Okay, but there's a problem with your epistemology there, dude. The problem is that when you go back in time, you lose a certain the further back you go, you lose a level of... You lose the ability to truly verify things once witnesses die, once writers die, once things pass along, and then of course some publications, if you can't verify with their editors, you can't verify any of that. So the problem is that, and plus we know in this day and age, things can be doctored, things can be hoaxed. Like it was just revealed that the Dead Sea Scrolls that the U.S. Bible Museum here in the United States were just revealed to be fakes. It's like we know that they're hoaxes now, because we have the technology to study that and to analyze those. So, but given this, okay, given the advent of technology like that, did you go to China and look at the photos that were taken in China? Did you go to Peru or Belize and seen these things? I'm just kind of curious, because if you cite an errant, non-repeatable, just basically one website where you found this headline, then you can't back that up, because we can't verify. No one can verify it. You can't verify it, and it can't be cited as evidence because it's anecdote. An anecdote is not a strong form of evidence for anything.
Okay.
Which is why anecdotes aren't allowed in a court of law.
we're kind of going off on a little rant right now, and kind
Well,
of
it's not so
getting
much a
nowhere with
rant.
it.
I'm addressing
I know.
your
You're
approach.
addressing something.
I'm addressing
Okay.
your epistemology, how you approach your knowledge, basically how you receive your knowledge, and the evidence that you have to support that, the demonstrable, verifiable evidence to support that. And when I was studying your work, when I was looking at the stuff that you were doing, I hit a brick wall on virtually everything I did, and those brick walls were generally, you know, Wix websites that were thrown up to support something or to support one person's viewpoint and engage with their own echo chamber. And I'm trying to make sure that if you have these great things, or these big things, other than like a photo that we can't verify the source of the photo, we can't verify these exact locations. We don't even have. I mean, you don't even present latitudinal, longitudinal locations for some of the things that you have. We can't even look at those things. I couldn't get on a plane to China and go look and see where this thing is in order to verify it for myself. And not to mention, many of the pictures you posted have long since been debunked by the creators themselves as hoaxes designed to simply stir the pot.
Okay, let me ask you this question: does Sodom and Gomorrah exist? Now that we're gonna actually start getting into the questions now, because we're going into like debunk and this and that, and whether it's fake or it's real. I'm gonna ask you this question now: does Sodom and Gomorrah exist? Is it real?
Sodom and Gomorrah does not currently exist. Do you mean did it exist?
You're wrong.
No,
You're
do
wrong.
you mean did it exist in the past? Is that what you're talking about?
Was it an existing place that God burned to the ground?
There are anecdotal pieces of evidence that we can surmise may refer to where those cities might have been, but it's not anything that can be concretely said that this is where they were. We can think, we can say the best evidence points that they may be referring to this, but the traces of those cities are long gone, and that area of science cannot determine with any ascertainable, concrete. It is not concrete. We can't say this is definitively where this was. Like the latitudinal and longitudinal locations of Sodom and Gomorrah were in this country that is now known as this. We can't do that. We can suppose, because we know some scant details of where they might have been talking, and we could say, you know what, there might have been a big city here. Okay, but it's as allegorical as, say, Socrates' treatises on Atlantis, or how Plato factored into that. It's kind of like, is it anecdotal? Is it allegorical? We're not sure. We can't verify either way. All we know is it's a story in a book. We know that for an objective fact.
I'm going to let you know this right now. You're completely wrong. Sodom and Gomorrah was found. Now, along with that, it was found by a man named Ron Wyatt. Now, he found Sodom and Gomorrah. He also found the bodies of a bunch of gay people. So let's just say for the gay community,
if they're dead, how do they know they're gay? If they're dead, how do they know they're gay? If they're dead, how do they know they're gay?
There's a gay couple laying together, holding each other. They died, basically burnt alive, holding each other.
Could they have been friends? Could they have been brothers?
Really? So you're gonna hug a guy from the back with your penis on his butt, ready to stick it up his butthole?
If his flesh is all burned away, and it's all withered away, how do we know it was like that?
Besides the story talking about Sodom and Gomorrah being basically a very sick version of LGBT, yeah.
Hang on a sec. There's no evidence to support that other than what's in the Bible.
They didn't even have to be having sex. They could have just been sleeping together as a couple.
Okay, but there's no evidence. There is no evidence to support that was what Sodom and Gomorrah were. Even if we could say the cities existed, we can't say for certain what the ideologies of those citizens were, because there's nothing recorded from within those cities, so we only have a one-sided account. And
We
if
have
that
ancient
one-sided
texts
account were
talking about
even
Sodom and Gomorrah. We have
do
ancient
what?
texts talking about Sodom and Gomorrah and what the people were like.
We
So
have
yes, we
we
do
have
have
one. We have
accounts. We do have
we have
accounts.
one. We have
Yeah.
the Bible. We have one. We have the Bible.
Quran.
There are the
That's two already.
you're taking scant evidence, and the wordage in the Quran is slightly different. Okay, I mean the languages were different. So the translations do vary somewhat, and when they claim that these are two related things, they're making leaps on that, which is why in the majority of Christians they see Sodom and Gomorrah as allegorical, not as legitimate.
Okay, now let's
It
let's let's
it
take what
wasn't
you
an
just
event.
no no let's
It
take
wasn't
no
an
no
event that
let's
actually
take what you
happened.
just
It
said.
was an allegory.
We're talking about the Middle East, a place where Muslims are in power. A religion is in power, just like here we have Satanism in power. Right now, in the Middle East, we have
Where's
Muslims in power. So I want you to
citation
think
needed, dude?
about this.
No,
Just
citation needed. You're making
and
a claim.
Okay,
and just before we go on, guys,
look, there's
CJ,
pictures of it.
CJ, one sec.
Mm-hmm.
I would appreciate it if you kept any kind of homophobic remarks to a minimum, or not at all, preferably, please.
So
You know I don't hate gay people.
once again, CJ, citation needed. You're making claims about ancient things that cannot be verified, other than one
Okay.
source, which is the Bible, and the
So
Bible itself mostly cannot be verified. There are
all
scant
right.
things,
So
but
I'm
I
gonna
mean, literally,
let me explain.
this is the syllogism that you're kind of running on, and I'll give you an example. Is premise one: Spider-Man lives in New York. Premise two: New York City is real. So conclusion: Spider-Man is real. Okay,
Wait,
that's kind of what you're doing there. And
JL,
the
are you
issue
trying to tell me
is that
Spider-Man's not real?
he's real in our hearts.
I mean, I watched like a bunch of movies with him. Are you? What the fuck? Oh my god!
There are many Spider-Mans, all from different dimensions in the MCU. But either way, that's the kind of syllogism that you're using.
Me
And the problem is that
let me get into
you
it.
can
One,
break that down. You can break that down because you're leaving out what you can. That syllogism doesn't work because it leaves out one thing: is that Spider-Man is a fictional character. It leaves out that information. So when you make your syllogisms, you're actually leaving out very important data points in that the authorship cannot be verified. The time period cannot be verified. Okay? The people involved in the editorial process cannot be verified, and so therefore there's nothing to support the claim. It's simply an anecdote written in a book, no different than
basically,
any
if you're
other
talking like
book.
this, you're saying no book. You're saying no book, Bible, Quran, no book in general at all. Not even science books should be valid. That's basically
No,
what
they
you.
should
That's
be.
basically what you're saying.
That's not what I said.
That's
That's a
basically
false
what you're coming
equivalent.
to. You're
No,
saying
you're
all these
you're
books.
drawing a false
They're
equivalency. That is a false equivalency because science textbooks and other textbooks, mathematics textbooks, okay, English textbooks,
Mhm.
these are books used to teach that are filled with objective facts, okay, objective truths about the systems that we
You sure you
utilize
want to
in
do
our
this?
society.
Are you sure
That
you want
they
to do
are,
this? They're filled with
and
objective facts, right?
religious
I want
texts
everyone to
do
hear
not
this.
have
I want everyone to
All
hear
right,
this. They are filled with objective facts. Now I'm going to ask you a question, okay? I'm going to ask you a simple question, and I want you to prove it, okay? Since this is in the textbooks, and it is considered a fact, without a doubt, a fact, 100%, okay? I
well.
want you to prove that the core of the earth exists because it's in a textbook. I want you to dig 4,000 miles and I want you to prove that it exists. If you can't prove that
Okay,
it exists,
CJ,
guess what?
CJ.
That book is invalid and is wrong.
Hold a sec. Hang on. CJ, I anticipated you coming
Mhm.
this up, so I went ahead and I actually took a crash course in seismology. Now, I am not a seismologist, and Craig already explained this to you once, but I'm going to go over this real quick, okay? Because I made my notes. I have my little crib sheet here. So, seismology, the study of seismic waves, predominantly the study of earthquakes, okay? and it focuses predominantly on the differences between compression waves and shear waves. Okay, compression waves are P waves, shear waves are S waves. So when there is an earthquake, when from plate tectonics, when plates shift and they cause earthquakes, there are waves that are emitted. Okay, either compression wave P waves or S wave shear waves, and we can measure those but we can measure those because we can measure the particle motion of those waves. And in the 80s and the 90s, a group of German seismology students went around the world and placed seismographs, okay? Because earthquakes propagate their waves in all directions, okay? So, and they move from continent to continent, okay? And when we have them all over the planet, on every continent, over time, and this took roughly about 15, 16 years, we log enough data points to ascertain what the inside of the planet looks like and what it's composed of, because we can test particle motion and we know how particles move through certain mediums. Okay, and the big thing is P waves. Hang on a sec. P waves, compression waves cannot. We know that P waves cannot propagate in solid material. S waves cannot propagate in liquid material. When the seismograph on the other side of the planet picks up the seismic waves from the other side of the planet, so when they pass through the planet, which they do, they are getting compression waves, or they are getting shear waves. Okay, because they're getting people. I'm totally new to this shit, but they are getting P waves because P waves cannot propagate, or they're getting S waves because they can't propagate in liquid. They propagate in solid material. That is how we know the inner core is solid. The waves themselves, the process is called PKJKP, which is where P equals wave and K equals the outer core and J equals the inner core. Okay, so this is like you gave me a subject to learn on, and this was amazing. I thought this was really, really cool. And so you take enough data points from continent to continent, you put them all together, you can legitimately map not only what their composition is, whether they are liquid or whether they are solid, but you can also map through particle motion and what we know about particle physics and what we know of chemistry. You can map what they're composed of. So it's multiple fields of science that went into this, and it's really cool stuff. But that is how we know what the core is. The inner core is solid. The outer core is more solid and is solidish liquid, and the mantle is liquid. And that's how we know.
Go on then, CJ. You've got a few minutes to respond to that. Okay, off you go.
Here's the thing, man. Can you debunk that?
I decided to just hold it in and just listen. Well, holy hell!
Can you debunk that?
Everything you just said doesn't prove anything. You want to know what you just said proves? What you just said proves the Earth moves and shakes sometimes. I believe you. I believe you 100%.
So you don't.
Moves and shakes
So you don't believe. So you
in
don't
the past
believe.
life to deserve this.
None of it proves the core.
Hang on a sec, CJ. So you don't believe that seismic waves exist. You don't believe that seismic waves exist. That seismographs pick those waves up, and then we can measure particle motion through the Earth.
I just said the Earth moves. I believe those waves exist.
But
I didn't say
no. But you left out a bunch of stuff. I was saying you didn't address it. You left out a bunch of the points that I made. You addressed one thing. You left out a bunch. You left out seismology. You left out seismographs. You left out particle motion. You left out compression waves. You left out shear waves. You left out how we measure those. And you left out the fact that we have seismographs all over the planet to measure these things so we can map the interior of the Earth. You left out all that stuff. You didn't address any of it. You simply said plate tectonics is a thing.
Seismographs don't look inside the Earth. They show the movement and how hard it is.
They work like seismographs pick up particle motion from seismic waves. That's how they do it.
Yeah.
Okay, just like radar, sonar pings under.
How does that movement prove a core? No way.
Wait, what movement?
It shows there's movement.
The earthquakes physically themselves don't prove it. The motion and reaction of the seismic waves through the planet, the waves that the seismic waves that propagate off the earthquake. Those seismic waves are what cause all the shaking on the crust. But those seismic waves travel in all directions. They propagate in 360 degrees in 3 dimensions. Okay, so that's how we can pick those up in all directions. And how the particles move through mediums, we can determine based upon the type of wave what medium they are moving through. And that's how we know the inner core is solid.
I'm sorry. It's just it's too funny when I hear it. When I hear it, it's just too funny. I laugh every time I hear it now.
Do you have
Because you're not the
empirical
first
evidence
one
to
bring
debunk
to
this?
me. You're
Do
not
you
the
have
first one to
evidence to
bring this
debunk
to me.
this? CJ, do you
What
have
evidence
evidence
do I
to
need to
debunk
the
this?
core? You can't prove it. Well, no, let's be real.
Yes, we
What
can. We
evidence do I
already
need
have.
to debunk the core? You can't
We
prove it.
already have.
What you proved is that movement can happen. I've been in earthquakes. I know for a fact
Okay,
they
you
happen.
once again, CJ, you once
I
again
know
have
for a fact there's
ignored
P waves and
the
S waves.
presence,
I know for a fact
but
they
you've
exist.
ignored that they
And
exist.
not a single bit
You've
of that
ignored that we
proves the
can
All right,
measure.
core.
No,
all right,
CJ,
guys, one at a
CJ,
time. All right, guys, stop one
you
sec.
have ignored that we can measure them.
Right.
You have ignored that they have an effect. Seismic waves are the reason things shake on the surface of the earth when there is an earthquake. Okay? Those seismic waves that are being produced by the earthquake are the reason buildings fall down. They're the reason the crust trembles. I grew up in Southern California. I've been through these. Okay, I was there in the big one that hit LA, the 7.2 that hit LA. So the seismic waves are the reason. The seismic waves are also the reason why we can measure them on the Richter scale, because the Richter scale measures those and in the level of damage that they do. So you must address seismic waves, how we measure them, how they propagate, and why and how we can measure them from continent to continent. Because the earthquake that struck off the coast of Japan that took out the Fukushima reactor, I think I may have mispronounced that. I apologize to the live chat if I did. But the earthquake that took that reactor out was measured in North America, and it was measured in Europe as well. They picked that up in Germany because seismic waves propagate in 360 degrees.
So,
Yeah, they shake throughout the whole earth. Whew! My God.
Yes, and how those waves
know
propagate. How those waves propagate is how we know what the inside of the earth looks like.
No.
And how particles move.
No. Here's how you prove the core of the earth exists. Unless you dig those 4,000 miles, which you can, you're gonna hit like 8 to 9 miles, and then it's gonna get too hard. It's not gonna get too hot.
Well,
it's gonna get too hard.
what you're referring to is what you were referring to is the hole that was dug in Russia. What you're referring to is the hole. What you were referring to is the hole that was dug in Russia that went down about 8 miles, and they could not continue because the rock was liquid. Okay, I read all about that one, and it was some time ago. But we can read seismic waves. We have technology to read them. We know how particle physics works. We know how particles move. We know that seismic waves are composed of particles, and the way those particles move through mediums, we know how to register those, and we know how to interpret them. We know what they do because we can test those up here on the surface, and they do the exact same thing, and we get the same information. So yes, we can conclude that we know what the inside of the earth looks like.
Mm-hmm.
So you must address the experiment. You must address the actual data points, seismic waves, how we measure them, particle motion, S waves, P waves, how they register from continent to continent, and how they propagate through materials that give us an image of what they're passing through. Just like sonar underwater pings off of other objects and gives us an impression of what the object is.
So, CJ, before you respond, I do have to ask you to try and address the question that he's asking. And the question he's asking is basically, how do you explain the interpretation of the PNS waves that turn out to be a sphere, etc.?
Okay, I want everyone to assume right now there's something in the center of the Earth. Okay, I want everyone to assume that there's something there in the center. Is it a core? No, no. There's no evidence to prove there's a core. Now, to say it's magma, to say it's this, to say it's that, would be a jump to assumptions because there's a lot more water under the Earth than lava, and that's a proven fact. Anyone can look this up. So
That's been
we're
debunked. I
running
apologize. And if you're going
on
to ignore,
borrowed
if you're,
time.
no, sorry, CJ, I'm going to hold your feet to the fire on this. If you're going to
No,
ignore
because
the evidence I
you're saying
presented,
you're
out,
saying with the
if you're
seismic. You're
going to
saying with the
dismiss,
seismic. I know what you're saying.
CJ,
I know what you're saying
CJ, if you're
because
going
Uh,
to dismiss the evidence I presented, this part of the conversation is over. You have nothing to present to debunk the evidence of dozens of seismologists around the world for the past 30 years. So we're done with that if you've got nothing to debunk that. We're moving on to the next topic.
okay, all right. Well then,
Thank you.
what you're showing me is seismic waves. That's what you're
No,
showing me. You're
we are
showing me
moving
that
on
the
to the
Earth.
next topic. We are
Listen to
moving to the
me.
next
You're
topic
showing
because
me.
you
Let
have
me
no
finish.
evidence.
Let me finish. I let you
just
You have
talk.
no
I let
evidence.
you talk.
let him just finish what
Let
he
me
wants to
talk this
say,
time.
and then we can move on if that's been covered enough.
Yeah. Look, what you're telling me is that the Earth shakes and moves, and that it bounces off. I get what you're saying, okay, and that it shows a scan of something, okay. It still doesn't prove a core, even if there's
Yes, it
something in the
does.
center.
Yes,
No, even if
yes,
there's something in the
CJ, it
center,
does.
it does not
It
prove it is a
does.
molten
It does.
core.
I
You
literally,
cannot
I
prove it.
explained it three
No,
times.
you cannot.
Yes, I explained it three times.
No,
You
you can't.
debunk the science.
You cannot. No one in the chat
CJ,
can even do it. I'm looking at the chat right
CJ,
now. They can't even prove the
CJ,
core of the Earth exists.
debunk the science. That's what I'm asking you to do. Debunk the science. Because if you can't do that, then your claims hold no water. That's all.
Well,
That's
guess what?
literally the
You
logic
can't
of the
look. You can't
scenario.
prove. Okay, here. You want to take the
No,
trail?
no,
You want to take the
you
long trail?
very quick. This is the claim. These people tested it. These people understand it. These people logged it. They put 30 plus years of work in order to understand it. They have their stuff is understood. You are claiming the opposite, and you are doing no work to make that apparent. You're simply making a claim. I want you to debunk the science with your own
How
tests
can I
and your
prove
own evidence
something that
and
hasn't been
present that.
proven yet? How
It
can
has
I?
been
How
proven.
can I debunk
No,
something
it
that
has
hasn't
been
even been
proven.
proven yet? Think about
It
it.
has been
The
objectively
core
proven.
hasn't been
You
proven,
need
so I
to
can't even
debunk it.
debunk it.
Right,
It's a
Yes,
theory.
you
It's an
can.
hypothesis. It's an
right.
assumption.
And debunk,
Okay,
debunk what they have presented.
CJ. Again, the question is, can you debunk why you would measure? I'm showing it on the screen now. Can you debunk why the propagation of the waves give us this description of a shape?
Yeah, what about it? I remember, yeah. Multi-purpose, I think. I think it was multi-purpose who did
And
this.
you
He
debunk
showed me
it.
the same thing. He showed me the same thing,
CJ,
and I was just like, okay,
CJ,
there's the
CJ,
movement. What
if
about
I
it?
ask you a
What
question,
do you
if
want
I
me to
ask you
say
a
about it?
question, can you debunk
Yeah.
it? How? What is your
Can
evidence
I
to debunk
debunk it?
this?
How can I debunk something that's not proven? This is a drawing. This is not real life. This is a drawing.
CJ, you like to spend so much time on the internet. You spend so much time filtering through Google images in order to find the things that support your pattern recognition. You could have at least gone and looked at the field of seismology, looked at the science, and then you can shut it down if you come up with your own hypothesis. But you did not do that. You're making a
I'm not
claim.
shutting down
In
seismology. I'm
opposition,
shutting down the core. There is no proof
no,
for the
you have
core.
no,
You want to go to
no.
seismology? Yeah, the earth
That's the
shakes.
problem. No. See, that's where you're making your misstep. That's where you're making your misstep.
No, no, that's where
Seismology.
I'm speaking the
No,
All
truth.
right,
Because
hey,
CJ,
you
let
haven't
me
CJ.
seen the
finish.
core,
CJ, let
I
me finish.
haven't seen the core, Craig
Seismology
hasn't seen
is
the core,
what
and
proves
guess
the
what?
core.
None of those
All right,
If
seismologists
you
have
want to
actually seen the
disprove the
all right.
core.
core, you need to disprove
Not a single one.
seismology.
No one has dug that far.
Okay, all right,
You
guys.
can't just say the core doesn't exist. I don't believe you. You have to.
What's going on? You still there, guys? Ah. Why is everyone disconnected? Right, I'm not sure if I'm still live, but all the calls just disconnected. Oh, no, they're coming back.
Hello?
Hello.
Did I disconnect?
Both of you disconnected for a second there. I think I may have lost internet for a sec.
Yeah.
Just wait.
Yeah, I noticed. No, because everything froze
Yeah.
for like a second.
I'll just get Jail.
Yeah.
Jail
You just
to
hang
refresh.
back. Look, this is real simple. No one can prove the core. I can't even do it. So asking me to debunk the science for the core is like asking me to prove something that hasn't been proven already. You know, it's not proven. It's a theory. It's a hypothesis. It cannot be proven.
All right. Okay.
Is
Save
there
it.
something in the center? Yeah.
Save it
Well,
for.
do I know what the hell it is? No idea.
Save it for Jail when he gets back.
I'm back.
Okay. Yep. Sorry. I think I may have lost internet for a second because it kicked you both out, but I didn't lose connection to the stream.
Well, that's okay. But basically, your premises do not lead to your conclusion. Okay? You
No,
must
my
debunk
premises
the
do lead to
science.
my conclusion. There is no
You
core.
cannot state,
There is no
CJ,
proof of core.
Right. CJ, let him finish his point, please.
CJ, you cannot simply say the core does not exist. You have to be able to back up that claim. And how you back that claim up is by debunking seismology, which is the science that leads us to understand the inner workings of the planet. So you can't just attack their conclusion, you must attack their premises. Okay? That's how that works. That's basically how the scientific method works. You disagree with their conclusions, so you attack their hypotheses. But you're not doing that. You're simply throwing ad homs at their conclusion with no evidence to back up your own.
You need to understand, how can I say the earth doesn't shake or move? It does. I've been in earthquakes. Of course it does. So I have to agree with them
Okay.
on this. P waves, S waves,
So-
I have to agree with them. The other stuff
So what about
that they
seismic
say,
waves?
oh, we know this is a molten core? Yeah, no, I don't have to agree with that. That's
CJ,
an
you did it
assumption.
again.
The rest I
CJ,
can
you
agree
did it
with.
again, which is no, you
Okay.
did it again, which is why I want to move on from this topic.
Yeah.
You
All
keep
right, let's
ignoring
move on from
the
this.
other data points. Okay?
So, all right. Let's
Okay, so
move
you
on then.
can prove the core, and I could prove
right,
Sodom
right.
and Gomorrah existed.
All right. One
All
sec.
right,
One
I
sec.
got it.
Right.
You can't prove Sodom and
So-
Gomorrah existed.
Yeah, I think it's
Really?
been clear that there's been no
Really?
evidence presented so far. So one thing that you like to say, CJ, is that you are a very evidence-based person. So how about you send me some kind of evidence that supports your claim, and then I'll just put it on the screen and you guys can discuss it.
Yeah. Well, it depends. Which one do you want to go through? Do you want to stick to the Sodom and Gomorrah, or do you want to go to the Moses splitting
Up
the
to you,
water?
Jail. What he's given you a choice. What do you want to do?
I mean, I'm sorry. We have to shut down the Bible because the Bible is anecdotal. The Bible is unverifiable. The Bible has multiple
Well, the
authors
Bible's
that came
literal.
through multiple languages. The Bible is not literal. The Bible does not promote
It's
science.
literal.
The Bible is not a science textbook.
Yes, it does.
You,
It's literal.
you can't verify. Sorry, you cannot verify any of these demonstrably. Okay, I'm sorry.
All right, hold on.
Your book does not
Hold
hold
on.
water.
Sorry, hold on.
Okay, yeah, you could send me some kind of evidence that supports the Bible or anything. That'd be wonderful.
Yeah, sure.
'Cause I know if Jail's
Yeah,
anything
okay.
like me, he loves to see the evidence that you guys present because it never turns up. It's weird that. Just like in what you should do in that MC Toon's recent debate against very special agent Victor Kroot, where he asked plenty of times for Victor to present evidence, only for Victor to misunderstand formulas and then rage quit. That was MC Toon was actually pretty savage in that. It was very, very beautiful to behold.
I'm gonna send it on your Discord.
Okay, yeah,
That was
yeah,
entertaining. It was entertaining.
yeah.
Now, I'll explain. This is in Indonesia. I'm going to let you know that, okay? This is in Indonesia. Now, I
love
want
this
you
kind
to
of
explain
evidence.
how this got here, and then I want you to explain, is it really erosion? Did someone just build it there, or did they find it? Because this is real. There's tons of people taking different pictures of going to this location and taking tons of pictures.
That picture is doctored.
No,
That's already been debunked.
No, it's real.
No, that picture is that big. I tracked that picture back. That picture is CGI. That literally
No,
that
it's
footprint,
real.
that footprint. Sorry, that footprint. That whole thing is a dropped image into that rocky outcropping by the shore.
No, it's not. It's
Sorry,
real. I told you.
sorry.
Tons of people are
That
taking
was the
pictures
conclusion.
next to it.
That was the conclusion.
Look,
That
I
was
can
one of the
keep
first
showing
photos. Sorry,
photo
that was
after
one of the first
photo
photos I looked
with
at.
people next to it.
That was one of the first photos
With
I
people
looked at,
next
dude.
to it.
Sorry, this CGI, but no people standing in it. Okay, this whole area, this whole thing right here, this rocky outcropping. Okay, this is CGI, and the number one reason you can prove it is because the light perpetuates differently on the rocks than it does in the water. Okay, your light sources from the
No.
rocks are actually different, but nonetheless, this is a doctored photo.
No, it's not. I know
Okay,
it's not.
I'm sorry, dude.
Look,
You
it's
have to
from
prove that it's
Indonesia.
you have to prove that it's not. You do.
No, really. So I'm the one who has to prove that this evidence is not fake. Yet there's tons of people
You're the one
clearly
making
going
the
there
claim.
offline to take
CJ,
pictures with the thing. To take pictures with the
you
thing.
are the one.
So they're all liars.
You are the one
They're all
making
liars.
a claim.
But
CJ,
you're the
you
one.
are the one making a. CJ, you are the one making a claim. When you make a claim, you must back it up with evidence. Just like in a court of law, the presumption is innocence. The prosecution brings the claim of guilt, and they must prove it beyond reasonable doubt. Your job is to see this photo and say, "Ooh, a giant footprint," and then claim that's the claim, and then you must find evidence to support that. You have none.
Mm.
This is a doctored
What are you
photo.
talking about? I have several giant footprints all over the place. That's one. It's all over Google. Anyone can look it
Some are
up. That's the first
some are
part.
pareidolia.
Listen,
Some are
listen,
pareidolia.
let me finish. Let me
Some are
finish.
pareidolia. Some are
Let me
doctored.
finish. I have several. They're all over Google. Anyone can type this in. Giant footprints. Second,
Yes,
historical
I know.
documents. Bible, Norse,
No,
Greek,
no
Sumerian,
historical documents.
Indian.
No.
All talking.
Sorry.
These are all people talking about giants existing.
I award you 0
All
points.
people documented talking about giants existing and walking around on the earth.
No, they don't. None
So
of them
all
have
these books
degrees.
are lies.
None of them are Sorry, CJ. None of them have degrees. None of them are accredited. None of them have any verifiable information. I could not verify any data on any of the people making these claims as having any presence in any empirical field of science. I'm sorry, Chief. These are people on the internet making things.
So basically, every single historical story about giants is all false. Every single one. You're
There's no
talking about
evidence
like
to
the
support
majority of ancient. You're talking
I'm not
about the
making the
majority
claim.
of ancient history.
CJ,
That's the claim
I'm not
you're
making the claim.
That is the claim
CJ,
you're making.
I'm not
You're making
making-
a claim that
CJ,
the majority of ancient
CJ,
history is wrong.
CJ, you ask something. I'm responding. I didn't make the claim that they're false. I'm saying that there is no evidence to support it. And I am claiming that these are doctored images or they're created images to perpetuate a field of view, mostly from conspiracy theorists.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I tell you, the guy,
Yeah.
the guy on Monday thought an art installation from a performance artist was a satanic ritual. Okay, your cognitive bias is getting in the way of your reason. You want to see patterns, so you are picking the ones you are literally you're subjecting yourself to the hot hand fallacy, and then allowing that to prop up your cognitive bias. You're ignoring the
Yes,
you're
and
ignoring the
proved
you're
that the
accepting the
core of the earth
hits.
exists.
You are
No,
accepting the
you're
hits, and
look.
you are ignoring the misses. You're accepting the hits
you're
and ignoring the misses.
You're ignoring my evidence too, because guess what? The core of the earth doesn't exist, and you said in the textbooks that science is true.
CJ,
Guess what? It's false.
CJ, that is a
your
claim.
book can't
CJ,
be
that is
trusted.
CJ.
All right, well,
That
guys,
is a
one at a
claim.
time.
You just made a claim.
Can't be
Guys,
trusted.
Guys, one at-
CJ, you just made a claim. Prove it. Give me evidence. Give me evidence that
Your science
nothing
book can't be
exists in the
trusted.
core of the earth. What do you mean? It can be tested. I told you how to test it.
No, you can't. You can't
Yes, I
prove
did.
anything's in the core of the earth. You can't. You
Yes, we
can't
can.
prove there is a core in
Why
the
are
earth.
you driving?
A
Why are you
molten core.
driving
You
back
can't
to
prove
a
it.
point, CJ? Why are you driving back to a
Because
point
you're calling my
that
books
you
false
can't
when
support?
your book when your book has something so damn false in it, that's just one.
How do you know it's false?
Statement.
How do you know it's false? How do you know it's false?
Because it hasn't been proven. So it has to be false.
It has been proven. It has been proven.
No,
You
it
must
hasn't.
disprove
It's
it.
false.
How do you know that? How do you know that it's false?
Proven it. I can't dig 4,000
Yes,
miles.
they
I don't have
have.
the equipment. And even though they tried, and you know they
Go
did.
to school. Then
You
go
know
to
they
school.
did. They couldn't reach it.
No.
So
Then go to
they couldn't reach it, so
university.
that means they couldn't prove it.
CJ, then go to university and study the field so you can shut it down. Go to university. Go to the class. Go to the university. Go to university. Go to your local community college and literally take the class so you can shut down the professor. Go do that. You would garner much more respect. You would get much more respect if you did that. If you had the courage of your convictions. Okay? You want to make these claims, don't make them to a seismologist.
Yeah.
Don't make
I'll
them
say
to
it
me.
straight to their face. Look, I'll say it straight to their face.
But you haven't made you have not made a video where you're doing that.
I would love to see some of the information they have. I've seen some of it, but I know for a fact I've never seen all of it. But I've seen some of it, of course.
But CJ,
and,
you haven't addressed.
But nonetheless,
then why don't you address it to their faces? Why don't you go to a seismology class? Why don't you write a professor of seismology? Go meet a seismologist. They are out there, and tell them to explain what they're doing. Make an attempt to understand the other side before you just open-handedly dismiss it or out-of-handedly dismiss it, okay? Make an attempt to understand the other model before you shut it down, because you can't shut something down when you don't understand what its foundations are. You can't just say X because X. That logic doesn't follow. You must say X because of Y, and then you explain why, and then you get your conclusion. The problem is that you spend all your time attacking conclusions when you don't understand the epistemology or the scientific method that got to those conclusions, because you don't take the time to break these things down so you can understand where your opponent is coming from. Okay?
Yeah,
you have to understand your opponent's side.
Did you ever think the conclusion they came up with is wrong? Because
it has not
the conclusion, for a fact, it's completely wrong. There is no core.
How do you know that? How do you know that?
If we were to get past the core, what else does that mean? That means there's no gravity. That means gravity doesn't exist.
Wait, what now?
Gravity. Sorry. Gravity is not contingent on the core.
Hey, did I just stroke out, or did he just say that?
It is, and you want to know how I know it is?
He did just say that.
I literally made a video versus me and Craig, and then I literally had to doc. I literally took from, I think, physics.org, the actual organization, and they even
physics
admit,
organization.
Yeah, the core and gravity are connected. They even admit it. They even admit it.
Like I said, hang on, CJ. Hang on, CJ. I'm gonna address that.
CJ, let him respond.
I'm going to address that. The core of the Earth, okay, and its composition are not gravity is not contingent upon that unless you are including the core of the planet in the mass of the Earth. Okay, because gravity is contingent. The gravitational constant is contingent upon the mass of an object. Okay, but not on the composition of the object, unless you're saying you're talking about how the composition of the object affects the mass. So if you're talking about how the core of the Earth adds to the mass of the Earth, and that mass is how we get our gravitational constant, then you're right, but you're leaving out important information on how they derived that. You follow?
Oh God. I'm sorry.
He's not listening.
No. It's funny at this point because after you do several debates.
Funny, haha.
Basically, what happens is after you do several debates, people bring up the same thing, and you decide the things that you weren't sure about. You decide to look into it. You just like
CJ, let's sidebar real quick. Why do you think they keep bringing up the same things?
Huh? Oh,
Why do you think
Well, for one,
we all keep bringing
it-
up the same argument?
because it's
Because
two
I can
different
tell you right
religions
now,
combating each other.
Craig is in Scotland. I'm in America. We did not go to the same school, but we received roughly the same education, but from different teachers and different professors. So why is it that we all make the same claims and we have models that can make predictions that verify those claims, and we have we have syllogisms that logically conclude with their conclusions, but you don't?
What do you mean I don't? I have more
You
evidence
don't.
than you. Because
Your
right now you're just talking.
your
No,
epistemology
let's
is
be real.
flawed.
Right now you're
No,
just
your
talking. You haven't
epistemology
shown
is
JL, let him
anything
respond
for your
a sec.
beliefs. You haven't
What do
actually
you mean?
showed
I don't
anything
have
for your
belief.
beliefs.
I don't have
Yes,
beliefs.
you do. You have belief.
No,
You just said you believe
tell me something I
science
believe.
textbooks were telling the
Tell
truth.
me something I believe
That
in.
was one of your
Tell me
beliefs,
something,
and I proved you
CJ.
wrong by saying the core does not
CJ,
exist.
CJ, tell me something I believe.
This is you said this. This is on video.
How
okay?
intellectually,
So I don't
how
want you to
intellectually
so do
dishonest,
not interrupt me.
how
Right.
intellectually dishonest are you willing to be? You tell me one thing I believe.
That the science books are what was it? Objectively true? That the science
Yes,
textbooks
because I have a reasonable,
objectively true.
because
Wrong.
and I believe that they are,
Wrong.
yes, and I accept that
False.
they
All
are.
right.
Sorry, CJ, I accept that they are
Sorry,
because
but
I
you
have
can
a
improve the
reasonable
core to me right
degree.
now. You can improve the
CJ,
core. So since you can improve the core, guess what?
CJ,
That science
CJ,
textbook
All right,
is
guys.
wrong.
All right, guys.
CJ,
Stop one sec.
sorry, okay, go ahead.
CJ, what he's saying is he doesn't have a belief. He holds his position because, based on the available evidence, it's the logical position to hold. So, how can he believe anything?
He's an atheist. Atheism is a religion. He has a belief system.
No,
I
it's
mean,
not.
it's literally the opposite of that.
It's not. It is not.
Atheism is a religion. Anyone who says otherwise is freaking insane. It's not a
CJ,
joke.
now you're just
Anyone
being-
who
CJ,
High Priest Neil deGrasse Tyson
says
told me
they're
himself it is not a religion.
Is insane.
CJ,
Atheism
you are
is a
being
religion.
intellectually
And if anyone
dishonest
wants to
right now.
If you want to debate me on that, be my guest.
I mean,
CJ, you
here
are
to
being
here.
intellectually dishonest. CJ, you are being intellectually dishonest right now. Legitimately, in the very definition, in the very etymology of the word, it does not accept religion or any claim of gods or deities or any kind of structure. Okay? And
Well,
I
let
am
me
willing
tell you
to
your
change.
religious-
Hold on. And I am willing to change my worldview with the advent of new evidence.
Mhm.
I don't say that I do not claim that there is absolute truth. Okay? I claim that there is objective truth and personal truth. And objective truth is based upon the preponderance of evidence, but that can change once new evidence is entered into the model. Then we change our model to reflect our understanding of reality.
Yes, and you're basically saying all my shit is fake and all your shit is real. Yeah, sorry. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. You're saying my books.
I mean, we're not trying to
my
sell you
religious text,
anything.
not just the Bible.
Yeah, I was
the
going to
other
say
ones
that
I
myself.
read. No,
I mean,
you're saying
wait,
they're not even history books.
will you buy
They're
some
just
if we
imagination.
offer it? I mean,
Like, you're insane.
Can we
It's
just
not a
start
joke.
flogging stuff?
Like, anyone who thinks religious texts are just random books that people just made up,
They're not
are
random.
insane.
No, they're not random books. They're books written with a very specific purpose.
well, aren't all
Depending
books
upon which
random?
version of the book you look at. Depending upon which version of the book you read, they have very specific purposes. The purpose of the Bible is to expand the ideology of a freaking death cult, is what it is.
A death cult?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Do you not long?
Explain
Do you,
the,
wait.
no,
Did,
no. I
did
wanna
you
hear
not
this.
say?
Explain the
I'm
death
good.
cult.
Hey,
I want to hear this.
did
Explain
you
the death
not?
cult.
Did you not say that you long? You said in one of your videos, you long for death, so you can join your God.
Yeah. Well, I
Wow.
can't
You cannot
wait to get the heck
wait.
out. Yeah.
Well,
I don't
no,
like
you
this
cannot
place.
wait. Hang on. You cannot wait because you're going to go to heaven and be 12 feet tall, and the women will be 9 feet tall or 10.
Wait,
I
a
think it's a
10-foot
direct
tall woman? That
commute.
sounds fucking terrifying. My wife's 5'10", and she scares the
Yeah.
shit out of me.
Yeah. Our original height is probably like around, for guys, 10 feet tall. The women are probably like 8 to 9.
Okay. Where's your evidence for that claim?
You mean the giant
Because it's
female
demonstrable.
skeleton that was found?
That was also faked and been debunked and multiple
No,
times.
no, 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 no. That one's real.
Yes,
That
yes,
one
yes,
is
yes, yes, yes,
Of course
yes,
it
yes,
is.
yes.
That one's 100%
No,
real.
it's been debunked, dude. Why do you keep citing
And
debunked
here's how I know.
images?
No, and here's how I know this.
He's a
If I'm correct,
fireworks,
there's a woman that's
what
like
they do.
7 something right. There's a woman that's like 7 something right now. There's a girl. She's so damn tall. She's like 7 something feet
Okay.
tall. Then we have Robert. We have Robert Wallow, who literally almost hit like 8-9 feet. He was huge.
Okay, you're citing you're citing
now-
examples
now-
of gigantism. You're citing examples of gigantism.
No,
I will do
no.
the converse, and I will cite examples of dwarfism. Vern Troyer is 2 foot. Vern Troyer, before he passed, was 2'4".
Yeah.
Warwick Davis
I
is
know.
over 3 feet.
Here's the difference. Here's the difference between what you're saying and what I'm saying. See, what Robert Wadlow had was called Nephilim genetics. He had Nephilim genetics inside of him. That's why he wouldn't stop growing.
That Nephilim genetics is not a thing.
Yes, it is.
That's not it's
is.
not a thing.
For
There is
all
no
flesh
field of
was
science
corrupted
called
on the
Nephilim.
earth. The Bible says all flesh
CJ.
was corrupted.
CJ, there is no field of science
Yes.
called Nephilim genetics.
Yes, there is.
There is only the
That's
there is
because you-
only the human genome.
No. No.
Nephilim genetics.
It's called Nephilim
So
genetics
there's
for a reason.
so there's no human genome.
No, I said there's a human genome. I said there's other genomes. It's called
No,
the angel
there's
and the
human
Nephilim
genome. There's
and we have the Nephilim and the angel genome.
okay. Hang on, a second,
Those
hang
two
on.
are here
You said
on Earth.
Nephilim. No,
Why
no,
do
no,
you
no, no,
think
no.
people
Yeah, we're not.
get to talk?
You're not going to rabbit trail this. We're going to hit this point by point. You claim Nephilim
Mhm.
genetics. Cite your evidence.
Yes. The bodies are all over the earth. The giant bodies are all over the earth.
Do you have any
Nephilim
There is no
evidence?
evidence of that.
Hey,
There is no
CJ,
evidence of
if you send me some evidence of that, I'll put it up on the screen for you.
Oh my God. Well, I gotta send evidence again while he doesn't do anything. Oh my God, so typical.
I'm not
of
making a
atheists.
claim,
They don't
CJ.
say anything 'cause They don't
He-
have anything.
he
that
hasn't
they
made
really
any
CJ, I'm not
claims
believe
making a claim. CJ, I am not making a claim. You are.
in.
You want to change my
Yeah.
worldview, you need to bring evidence.
Oh no, no, no! I'm not here to change your worldview because I'm going to let you go to. I want you to understand something. I'm going to let you go to hell. I will.
Hell does
It's
not
a
exist.
joke.
There's no
I'm
evidence
gonna
for
let
it.
you go to hell. I don't hate you,
Hell-
but I will let you go to hell because at
There-
the end of the day, it is.
There is
your
no evidence
choice.
of hell. There is no evidence of hell.
Holy
I
shit.
don't know. I mean, I've been playing through
and-
Doom Eternal,
and
and like
and
I've
sorry,
been. There's a
and
lot
sorry.
of demons and stuff. Wait,
Here's what's
video
really going to
game.
bake your noodle, CJ. Here's what's really going to bake your noodle, CJ. Even if there was, okay, which I do not accept the claim that there is, but even if there was, and this all existed, I would not worship that God on the basis of his absolute immorality, as evidenced by the book he left us.
It's cool to beat your slaves,
Oh,
guys.
okay. Well.
Sorry,
Okay,
that is
before I-
that is an immoral
No,
book that
I
you
want
are
you to stay
quoting.
on that topic. No, I want you to stay on that topic. On the topic of
The
his
immorality of the Bible?
immorality.
The
No,
immorality
yeah,
of the
on
Bible.
his immorality, on his actions that supposedly he did all these terrible things, and this is what I mean. This is why I
Well,
made
no,
my channel.
CJ, one sec, you're
Atheists
strawmanning
don't know how to
him. He was
read.
asking about the morality of the Bible. For instance, is it moral to say that women are not allowed to have a position of authority or any education because the Bible says that
No, they
that's
should
okay?
not have positions of authority. I've learned that the hard way.
Cool,
MGTOW was
cool,
right.
cool.
MGTOW was right. They should not have positions of authority.
dude. Okay,
Wow.
CJ,
Make that one
literally,
right.
dude. Honestly, no, CJ. Honestly, for the sake of your reputation, I'm going to strongly recommend that we backpedal away from this and go back towards like the morality of the
No,
Bible,
I don't care about my
or
reputation. I don't care about my reputation. You should be hated
Well,
of all men for my name's sake.
Reputation.
Okay, I'll be hated. I don't care.
Not the
you're
bad one.
but CJ, you're treading into very, very dangerous waters with the subjects that you are broaching. And I'm trying to give you an out.
That's the point. That's why certain people like me and certain people don't, because I'm able to do that. I'm able to go into something that people will not talk about, but I will. Like when someone says women are better, women are better than men, or men are better than women. No, here's how it works. We have the same value. We're human. But the fact of the matter is men are bigger, stronger, faster, and majority of the time, they're smarter. And that's a fact. And if anyone wants to debate me on that, good luck. Men are better in positions of power. They are. Women are better in positions of submission. And everyone knows this. The Bible knows this.
Cool.
Okay? Because
another quick question. Is it okay to, like, I don't know, stone people to death for wearing mixed fabrics?
Huh?
Is it okay to stone people to death for wearing mixed fabrics? Because the Bible says it is. Just asking.
I mean, I guarantee you're wearing mixed fabrics right now, CJ.
Get your stones out, guys.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Did you get the picture?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I sent it to you.
The nonsense filter kicked in.
This is just one of them that died in the flood. This is just one of the giants that died in the flood.
There is no evidence for the flood. There is no evidence for the flood.
Yes, there is.
There is no evidence for the flood. No, there's not. No, there is not.
You want to go over the verse?
Let's go one at a time. Right, so I just want to clarify what you're saying here. So you are saying this stone structure is evidence that a giant died in a global flood. Could you please just walk us through the logic behind that, and then JL can respond?
Okay, it's real simple.
Logic.
Okay, which is why we have giant footprints all over the place. Everyone in the chat, Google it right now. Google it right now. Giant footprints. They're all over the place.
We've all Googled it.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, it's the reason we have giant footprints, because these guys actually existed. God wasn't too fond of it, let's just say the least, because it was against the rules, because the angels decided to rape the women. They decided to rape the women and got them pregnant. Okay? And the women gave birth to giants, and then these suckers came out, and they started causing problems. Okay? And a whole lot of other shit that I can go through in detail with you, but it would take too damn long. It would literally take so damn long.
They started causing, Craig, they started causing problems as, like half angel, half human giants are wont to do.
I mean, I can imagine that being an issue.
Yeah, they are wont to cause problems.
The human race isn't really the best thing, So basically, God flooded the earth. Kept Noah and,
so shall I address that? Shall I address that?
Yeah, right. Let JL respond to your.
Shall I address that?
Yeah, please do.
Okay, CJ, answer me a question real quick. Does pareidolia exist? Does the phenomenon of pareidolia or apophenia do they exist? Okay, how do you know? What is your epistemology to determine that what you're seeing is not pareidolia?
The blood inside of them.
There's no evidence. I looked into that, dude. There's no evidence of it. No, there isn't. There's that. I mean, if you realize if that was discovered, that would make waves in paleontology. Waves.
It's like you don't get it. You don't get the world we live in, do you?
No, none of us get it.
I understand this is going to sound crazy to you.
No, Joe Chief. No, I don't get the world. I don't get the world you live in. Okay? I don't get the world you live in. I'm asking you to walk me through it with your evidence, and you don't have any.
What are you talking about?
You have claims.
Of course I have evidence.
So
you have claims, sir.
CJ, you claimed that.
See some of the blood that was found.
CJ, one sec. All right, you said you claimed that angels raped women and they gave birth to giants, right?
Did it freeze again? I think it froze.
No, we're all here. Can you hear me? Oh God, it has disconnected.
Yeah, I think it dropped again.
Oh no, it's come back.
Yeah.
You there, CJ?
Yeah, it's just claim on top of claim on top of.
I know. I was going to try and get him to give evidence of people giving birth to giants.
Yeah, let's start at the. Oh, you've seen those pictures too.
No, just the fact when I
Oh,
asked for evidence and they
they're
sent me this.
but he's got one that he claims it's literally just an example of a different kind of ore within a rock, and he claims it's like a baby in a womb.
Hello?
Right, okay, yeah, we're back. Sorry.
Huh?
Right, so let's just again. Your claim was that angels raped humans and they gave birth to giants, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, they raped the women and the woman gave birth to giants. It's all over.
Okay,
ancient
where's your?
history.
Just out of personal curiosity, how did a woman give birth to a giant?
Oh no, they died during birth.
I would imagine, yeah.
Yeah, no, they died during birth.
But anyway, yes. Do you have evidence to present of that? And then JL can respond to the evidence.
Yes, of course. I think it's what, 1854 or 1852, something like that.
What
Okay.
the number 1854 is your evidence?
No. Hold on. Let me see if I can get it here. I'm gonna see if I can get it here. Give me a second.
I'm glad I've got tequila.
I can use a shot of Patron.
Patron. I can't wait for this evidence. It's going to be amazing.
Okay.
Earth shattering. Earth shattering, even.
Hold on. Let me get this.
We're waiting with bated breath.
Sorry, I'm checking to see
Yeah,
my NASA shield check arrived.
You know, since my hologram generator got installed, no one else gets paid.
Yeah.
I mean, they get paid, what, 53 million a day? It costs 54 million a day to run my generator.
Oh, petrosomatoglifs. That's the word for it. Okay. Very nice. Now I have a word for that. It's called petrosomatoglifs.
The word for what?
The word is the supposed image of parts of a human or an animal that is in rock. There's actually an actual breakdown of what that is, and these occur all over the world, often functioning as an important form of symbolism used in religious and secular ceremonies, such as the crowning of kings. So yeah, petrosomatically, and people create them. So it's very, very interesting. I like that.
Awesome. Got this evidence coming, CJ?
Hold on. I just have to make sure I got everything right. Okay. Now and then. All right. So I'm gonna read it real quick first. Okay. I'm gonna read it.
Could send it to me as well.
Yeah. Where the heck is it? There it is.
No.
Okay. Now this is a depiction of what they found. Okay, but I'm gonna read it. In this picture on the left of the lithograph from 1842, which I referred to and used on the Trail of the Nephilim, Volume 2, this was taken from a mummified mummy on her death.
A mummified
and subsequent
mummy.
mummification. Okay? 7 months pregnant. The fetus was found with an elongated skull inside the womb, meaning the woman was pregnant with it. Okay?
Here you go, Joe.
So.
I saw it on his videos. Yeah.
Hey, CJ, you said a mummified mummy. Can you have a mummy that isn't mummified? Just wondering.
Okay. Now, this is the depiction they give of it. Now, is that depiction real? Of course it is. They've been finding these things all over the place. And not just that, they find the baby ones. So guess what? Hold on.
Can I ask you something?
Give me a second.
How does he know that that's not an anatomical depiction of someone with a skull deformity that died at birth?
No, it's just concept art for Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
And the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, okay, I got it.
Which
pretty
still hurts.
He's gonna pretty soon he's gonna claim the Atacama mummy was a space alien.
Hey, at least we all learned from Indiana Jones that you can survive a nuclear blast by getting inside a fridge freezer.
Yo, I bought one of those old ones just in case.
Oh yeah, me too. Everyone should have one, right?
Mm-hmm. Just like I bought my claw-footed tub after I watched Lethal Weapon.
Yep. So, any more, and I use this term lightly, evidence?
Word?
Very
Really?
loosely.
Okay.
Very loosely.
No. Now, they found this in, 1850, 1840? Okay? So, we're finding them today, right now. And they're
Why can I
100%
find
real.
no
Anyone
evidence?
who says,
Why can I find no? Why is it I can find no scholarly articles, no independent articles, no peer-reviewed papers that dive into what you're talking about?
And critics hated Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull.
This is true. I also was not a fan.
no. So, people are finding this, Russia, Mexico, here in America, from what I know.
CJ, you gonna
Peru,
answer my
of course.
question? CJ, you gonna answer my
Yes.
question?
What's the question? What's the question?
Why can I not find any peer-reviewed articles, any university papers, any scholarly articles on these things? All I'm finding are articles on the rituals of skull elongation in certain tribes in South American and African cultures, and which comes from binding the skull so that the bones actually grow to that point, and skull deformities that can occur in utero because they are genetic deformities, and typically those babies die at birth, or they die in utero.
Jail, he sent me some more evidence of what I'm not sure, but
So, all right. So, let me explain the whole story now? Well, not the whole story, but
Please do.
let me explain the story. Okay, I'm gonna explain it real simple. Okay, so the angels came down. They had sex with the women. They impregnated them with these guys. The women couldn't push these guys out. They were too big, so they would burst from their stomach. Literally, this is an ancient text known as the Kabbalah Nagas, chapter 100. You can read it for yourself.
oh, say that
And
word
they
again.
burst from their stomach. Kabbalah Nagast.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, you guys don't know anything about religious texts like that, man.
That's another
glad.
claim. Can you
So-
back that up? That I don't know anything about religious texts?
I mean, he's presented more evidence about religious texts than you have tonight.
No, he hasn't at all whatsoever. He hasn't presented anything. He talked about
Because
his
I'm not
beliefs
making
in
a-
science and stuff.
I'm not making a claim, and I don't have
Pretty much
beliefs. I'm not making
Yeah,
a
of course you
claim,
don't.
and I don't
Yeah,
have
sure.
beliefs.
I don't believe, dude. I don't believe you. I'm telling you this right now. You're an atheist. You have beliefs.
I will
I don't
BRB.
believe you.
What do I believe in? Tell me what I believe in. Tell me what I believe
well,
in.
one, you said that you believe in objective scientific textbook truth, and I proved that you couldn't prove the core of the earth.
I accept objective truths because of the preponderance of evidence, because I have a reasonable degree of certainty in the evidence. When the evidence changes, my
Well,
reasonable
I'm gonna let you know.
degree of certainty will change.
I'm going to
So
let
tell
you
me
know.
what
I
I
don't care
believe.
about your certainty. I care what you can physically prove. I'm showing pictures for everything I believe. I have pictures. If you want to go travel there yourself, you can. That footprint is in Indonesia.
So
You can go
so
travel there
pictures.
yourself and go look.
So pictures are
Okay?
enough to prove
Sorry,
a
I'm
claim.
back. I
So
need to
pictures
take
are
a
enough to
Riley.
prove a claim.
Pictures and videos definitely are, because Sodom and Gomorrah exists because Trey Smith actually made a video of him going there. He actually made a video. He
The
was
cities
like,
actually
I'm going
exist.
there. I'm going to prove what
The cities
Ron Wyatt said.
physically.
And he
The
actually went
cities.
there.
The cities physically
And he
exist.
recorded it. Yeah.
The cities
and he
physically
recorded
exist.
it.
Where are they?
Yeah, Sodom and Gomorrah physically exists. Not just that, supposedly there's 3 other towns that also got burned up. So it was
So which
actually
ones were
5
they?
towns in total.
So
I
which
don't
ones
know
were they?
their
But why are
names,
there
but-
then why no mention of the other 3 in the Bible?
No idea to me. It could be that it's just all one big place, but from what it looks like there was 3 other towns that also got burned up.
Can you confirm that?
So you're talking about 5 towns total.
Can you confirm that?
I can confirm the 2. I can't confirm the other 3. I know that.
How do you confirm the 2?
Trey Smith. Thank God to Trey Smith. Thank you, Trey
No,
Smith, for actually going.
Trey Smith is not a paleontologist or an archaeologist or any of that deal. So how do you confirm it? Trey
Trey
Smith
made
is
a
a
video
person.
about it.
He's a person
He wanted
with
to
it.
confirm it for
He is a.
himself. He's all like, "Hey, look,
Is
everyone, I want to see if
is
Ron
he a
White was
is he a
telling the
biblical
truth."
scholar? Is he a biblical scholar?
Oh,
Did he go to seminary?
is he? What does having to be a biblical
Is
scholar have to do with
because
checking if a
biblical
place exists?
because the things you're talking about are is the work of biblical scholars, individuals who devote their
Yeah,
lives to breaking down this book, and who the vast
yeah, that's the
majority
point.
now accept is allegorical.
No, it's literal. The Bible's literal. The
Prove
Quran is
it.
literal.
Prove it.
Norse,
Give me your
literal.
evidence. Give me your evidence.
Genesis 6. There were giants in the earth in those days, and also after that, when the angels raped
Evidence.
the women and
Evidence.
they gave birth to giants.
Evidence.
And guess what? I'm showing the
CJ.
bodies of the giants
CJ.
everywhere.
Evidence.
My Bible is
Evidence.
not the only
Demonstrable
one
evidence.
saying it. We
Right.
need, we
Demonstrable
need
evidence.
more, right? Yeah, we need
Demonstrable
more.
evidence. Demonstrable evidence.
I have 4 or 5 videos of giants everywhere. 4 or 5 videos of giants
Demonstrable
everywhere.
evidence. No, you have images of apophenia and pareidolia.
No, there's blood inside of them. I
And you
even made
never
a
answered
video
my
showing the blood inside of them.
and you never
I
answered my
even made a
question.
video showing the blood
You
inside of them.
agree. How's that? You never answered my question. You agreed that pareidolia is a phenomena that exists. So how do you know that what you're seeing is not pareidolia?
The blood. The life of the flesh is in the blood. The blood speaks for itself. So I have bodies. I have blood inside of them.
No, you
I
don't.
have historical
have that-
documents
don't.
talking
Do
about
you have any
giants.
evidence
No,
of
you
that
don't.
I
blood?
have giant footprints. I have giant
No,
footprints.
you don't.
I have everything needed to prove my
No,
case
you don't.
that the Bible was
No,
telling
you
the
don't.
truth. And not just the
No, you
Bible,
don't.
but religion.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
You know what?
You don't have
Screw
anything.
it. Screw it.
You don't
Hey,
have anything.
CJ,
Right,
we're gonna
CJ.
go. We're gonna go. CJ, we're gonna go down this rabbit hole for a
Right, guys.
Hey, CJ.
Guys, right, both stop right now. Stop. Right, let's
Okay, go ahead.
let JL ask a question, and we can go through
All right, JL,
a few
go.
points. Got about 15
Okay.
minutes left on open discussion, then we're going to go into QA because we've got quite a few questions that have come in. Okay.
Okay, so I'm curious. We're gonna run down this real quick. Okay, so let's just go with what you're saying. Let me pull up my pronunciations. Okay, so yeah. Okay, so throughout your videos and throughout the work that you've done, you deliberately target members of the debunk community. You've targeted Fight, you've targeted Professor Dave, you've targeted Red's Rhetoric, you've targeted Lawrence Krauss, Professor Stick. You'll probably target me later. Now, these all individuals hold positions that you interpret as oppositional to your belief structure. But I didn't see a single video attacking any other Christian leaders or Christian content creators that do not hold that actually these individuals, I would bet money that they would call your beliefs atypical of Christian beliefs. So you don't attack William Lane Craig. You don't attack Hovind. You don't attack D'Souza. You don't attack Lee Strobel or Seitan Bruggencate or any of these individuals, okay? You don't go after any of them, even though I will hazard a paycheck that they would disagree with your interpretation of the scripture. Okay?
I know they disagree.
So
They
why
admitted it.
don't you take swings at the people in your field, in your alleged field, who absolutely disagree with you? Like, okay, for example, Ken Hovind does not believe in the flat earth. He thinks flat earthers
I know.
are fucking idiots.
He actually
Okay?
used the word
So-
retard.
He called them retards. I don't like that
Yeah.
word. Okay? But he did that. He called them retards. God, I hate that word. But why don't you attack Kent Hovind and tell him why he's wrong?
Well, I've already left comments to him saying,
Why
"You're
don't
wrong."
you make a video? Not a comment that could be lost, not something on a sock account. Why don't you make videos attacking the people who are literally on your side telling you you're wrong?
Of course, because every Christian, it's just a reality. Like, even in the flat earth community,
But that is not an answer.
and the Christian
That is not an
flat earth
answer.
community, we have different views and we disagree with each other. But I'm
So
not
why
going
don't you
to
tell
attack
them-
him just because we disagree? Because Zen Garcia disagrees with me too on some things, and I
So
disagree
why
with
the
him.
so why the
But
so
I have
so
no
why the
reason to
hypocrisy?
attack him.
So wait,
He's
so why the
true. They
hypocrisy?
love God. As
Why
long-
the
look,
hypocrisy?
they love
We
God.
tell you, hold on,
Even
TJ.
if they're wrong on
TJ,
certain things.
we tell you you're wrong. We tell you you're wrong. They say you're wrong. Why only attack us? Why the hypocrisy?
Yeah, man, I've got feelings, you know.
Look, I said this before. I just said it already. They believe in Christ. Whether people want to believe it or not, they do. They do. Even in their own little weird way and mistaken way, they still do believe. And
Do
Ken
I,
Hovind,
do
as
I
much as
believe in
people like to
Christ?
bash on him,
Wait,
as much as people like to
how do you
bash
know
on
that?
him, he's right about a lot of he's right about a lot of things. So,
But how
him
do
being
you
wrong
know?
about
How
flat
do you
Earth,
know they
but being
believe?
right
No,
about other
CJ,
things,
CJ, how do you know
I'm
they
not gonna.
believe? I'm going back to that claim. How do you know they believe? How do you know they're not just atheists making videos to make money off of people who are theists? How do you know that?
I mean,
Of course, I don't know that. It could be all lie. It really could.
So how
It
do you
really could.
So how do you justify that? How do you justify that rationally?
I leave it. You have to leave it like that.
Do you
I
have
don't.
a
You really think I want to
reasonable?
attack another brother in Christ or a sister in Christ?
But
There
how
aren't
do you
that
know
many
that?
women,
How do
honestly.
you know
But
he is? How do you know he is just because he says he is?
how do you feel about your brother
You're
in
taking
Christ,
it.
Nathan Thompson, that
Why are you
harasses
taking
children
that
in
evidence?
recess?
oh,
Why are you
oh,
taking those
do I think
claims
what
at
Nathan
face?
did was good?
No,
No.
CJ.
But
Why do you
he
take
believes
their
in Christ.
claims, CJ? Why do you take their claims of belief at face value, and you don't take other claims at face value? That is a hypocritical. That is a hypocritical position, and epistemologically unsound. How do you justify that rationally?
Because unfortunately, they actually bring physical evidence for their case. You guys in atheism, you guys don't bring anything. You just talk like you've been doing now. You haven't really proved anything in your
He
belief. You
hasn't made
haven't
any
proved the
claims.
physics. You haven't proved.
I
You haven't proved any
haven't.
of your science.
I
You
no,
haven't
CJ.
proved any of your
I
science.
haven't.
You've
CJ.
just been playing
I
the
haven't.
victim.
CJ. I haven't made a claim. How many times do Fight and
Yes, you
I have to
did.
tell you this?
Yes, you
What
did.
claim did I make?
You made a
What claim did I
claim.
make?
You
What claim?
objective truth. We went through this already. You made a claim of
No, I
objective
didn't.
truth.
No,
And
I
I
said
proved the
I said
court. You
I
didn't.
accept.
You
I said
did.
no. I said I accept objective truth. I didn't make a claim. I said I
You
accept
said
it.
your science books are objective truth, and that's a
They are.
belief. And
That's why they
and
are.
that's
That's
your
why they're
claim.
science
That
books.
was your claim. It's on video. We can rewind and
No,
watch it again.
it's yes. You
Okay?
are correct. Rewind it. They are
Rewind and
these
watch and be
books,
right?
these textbooks.
I mean, we
These
can.
textbooks have objective truths in them because that's
No,
why they are
don't.
science
They're
books.
all bullshit.
How do you
They're
know?
bullshit.
Okay,
There's
stop.
no
How do
outer
you
space.
stop? No.
There
How
is
do you
no
know? You're
core.
making a claim, CJ. You're making a claim. How do you know they're bullshit?
Because anyone can send a rocket up and it'll hit the dome.
Because they are
I
they
mean,
bullshit
apart
because
from
they simply
NASA,
disagree?
SpaceX, Blue Origin,
Yeah. Are they
orbital
bullshit
Climate,
because they
The
simply
NASA,
disagree with you?
themselves, they've even admitted it in their documents that the Earth is flat and that there's a dome in their documents.
No, they
Like literal
didn't.
NASA
This does
documents.
not exist. This does not exist.
I've been talking
You
to a
laugh.
NASA
Okay,
employee,
CJ.
someone who's
CJ,
worked for NASA for
you
40
laugh.
years, and they think flat earthers are the biggest morons on Earth.
CJ,
I
you
don't
laugh.
care what they say.
Okay, do you understand, CJ? You do understand psychologically why you laugh like that? You laugh like that because you know you have. You laugh like that because you have no argument. No, you laugh because you laugh because you know you have no argument.
No, I know
Okay,
I'm right.
that is why you laugh. No, that is why you laugh at that. CJ,
Listen to me.
this
Listen
is
to
Psych
me.
101, dude.
I literally
This is Psych
laugh
101. This
because
is
I
first
know
semester.
I'm right.
CJ, this
I
is
know
first
I'm
semester
right.
human behavior.
And it's funny hearing you talk about your atheism.
How do you
that
know you're
can't
right?
prove.
You can't, CJ. How do you know you're right? You have no evidence to support your
the
claim.
physical evidence for it. And that's
No,
the difference
you
between
don't.
me and you. Yes, I do. I have
You
the
don't have
giant
physical
bodies.
evidence.
Yes, I do.
No, you
Yes,
don't.
I do. Yes.
No, you
I
have
do.
pictures.
All
You
over
pulled.
here.
CJ, you have
Anyone
pictures.
can go travel
You
to these
pulled.
places.
CJ, you have pictures you pulled off the internet. Okay, which the internet is
And
nothing
anyone-
more than the
and
library.
people travel there
Is the
to go
internet
see
is
if it's
nothing
true.
more. CJ, the adults are talking. Sorry, Fight, I'm going to steal that. Okay, CJ, the internet
talking,
is
yeah.
legit. CJ, have you read Jorge Borges? Okay, the internet is the Library of Babel. It is literally all the information, of which most is completely nonsensical and irrelevant. You spend so much time wading through the shit that doesn't make sense. You spend no time looking for the stuff that does. You are lost in the miasma of your cognitive bias. Okay? You have no evidence to support your claims. You have pictures you pulled from the internet with no verifiable sources. You can't even verify the photographers. Okay? I am not making a claim. You filled your videos, some of which were disgusting, I might add, but you filled your videos with claims that you cannot support. And if you're going to make these ad hom attacks, if you're going to attack conclusions, at least have the balls to bring your own premises that debunk those conclusions. Do the fucking work before you start swinging at other people's sandcastles.
All right. And I think that's a very good point to move on to Q&A.
Oh my God. Atheist, man.
Yeah, I'm atheist, man. I know, right? Being correct is hard work.
We are a wacky lot.
Yeah. All those beliefs that we have.
So many beliefs.
That's been pretty epic.
But me having skeletons, of actual bodies of different, creatures.
You don't. I am flat out fucking telling you, you don't.
Yeah.
Flat out. Flat out telling you do not.
Right.
Straight up, son.
So, the first...
I'm steal some Ken Hovind right there. No, you don't, son. No, you don't.
Well, everyone steals his bitch. Just ask Nathan Thompson.
What her? I can't do him right. The team does him better.
The Athens 619 for $5 says, CJ, please give us evidence the core doesn't exist besides nuh-uh.
5 stars to that dude.
Can you do that, CJ?
What the hell type of question is that? Is that guy a fucking retard?
I mean, it was quite clear. Please give us evidence the core doesn't exist besides nuh-uh.
Wow,
prove it exists. I'm not the one making the claim it does exist.
Dude, watch the ad homs, man. Come on.
I'm not the one making the claim the core does exist. I'm saying it doesn't. They're saying it does.
Do you have any evidence it doesn't? Because we have evidence it does.
Well, then you better freaking prove it. You prove it to me.
We did.
I will drop all
we did.
We
did. You refused.
Well,
we did. You refused to look at it.
To be fair, you don't prove anything with. To be fair, you don't prove anything with science. You do that with maths because that's where proof exists.
Don't tell me you're taking from freaking MC Tunes. Please don't tell me you're taking from MC Tunes.
No, I've always said that science doesn't prove things. Maths does. And when you take the maths from the data, you get a core.
Yeah. No. I'm all about proving
laws. CJ, laws state what, theories state how, and proofs are only mathematical. Okay. Remember that. That will help you in the future.
Okay, let me ask this question: Why is there like an armadillo the size of a small car?
That's called a glyptodon, and it went extinct about 45,000 years ago.
No, it's an armadillo, and
it's from the same clade, but it's called a glyptodont. That's what that animal was.
Is an anteater an armadillo? I mean, they're the same.
Why is everything in the past bigger? Even the human skeletons from the past are bigger.
I know. It's because there was a giant tree and it held up the dome, right?
Dude, the atmosphere was different back then, and oxygen saturation. Dude, I'm telling you, I'm answering your question.
Well,
I'm answering your question. My wife.
Before you do though, a year ago I was not this big, so things are not always bigger in the past.
We tend to get bigger, but my wife actually has training in this field. Okay.
I want to hear this.
The reason things were larger in the past is because of the oxygen saturation of the environment, and oxygen lends itself to growth. The reason insects got so big was because insects don't have lungs. They absorb oxygen. And that's how they grew to immense size. That's how you got 6-foot centipedes. That's how you got 2-foot dragonflies. That's how you got those weird fossils that you posted all over your videos that I watched, that I stomached. Okay?
Now,
When you,
where
with
A
those
lot of them are
claims that
hard
you
to
made.
stomach.
We
Where did that air go?
understand. What do you mean with the air go?
Okay, that air
Where'd
that
the
made them
air
so
go?
big, where did it go?
No.
Oh,
The
goodness me.
compositions were different. There was more oxygen than there was nitrogen.
Yeah.
Now those
Okay.
oxygen
Now,
levels
where
have
did that extra
depleted
oxygen go
because they
that
have
made everything so big?
the oxygen levels have depleted over millions upon millions of years from atmospheric loss to space, and gases vented into the atmosphere from the Earth. And slowly but surely, there are processes that put oxygen in the atmosphere. There are processes that put other gases into the atmosphere. When those processes change due to climatic activity, due to geologic activity, due to asteroidal impact, when those processes change over millions upon millions of years, then the atmosphere itself will change. The atmosphere lent itself to larger animals and larger vegetation because
What evidence do you have for
Where
that?
did Ur go?
the
What
oxygen
evidence do you have for
saturation.
that?
Right,
What evidence do
okay.
you have
Well,
for
there's
that?
a number.
Right,
There's a
let's move
number.
on
There's
to
a number of.
let's
I
move
mean,
on.
there's a number of fields you can look them up.
Yeah.
Hey,
we can't-
I know.
No, I want to know.
I know. Do your own
I really
research.
want to know where this oxygen went that I would love to have, because I want to be 10 feet tall already. And, I want to fuck some
Hey,
people up. 'Cause,
quick
fuck
science
some people
lesson.
already.
Oxygen is slightly lighter than some other elements that are in the atmosphere, meaning some of it will be higher up due to the fact that it requires less energy to escape Earth's gravity. Some more oxygen will be lost to space than other elements. Therefore, there is less oxygen than there used to be. Science lesson over. So the
Yeah, sure. No, sure. I laugh at that. I laugh at that.
Atmospheric
It's like, where's
bleed.
the oxygen?
yeah,
I have no idea.
I could show you a simulation to demonstrate that, but it's maths. You wouldn't get it.
Atmospheric bleed. It's called atmospheric
Twitch
bleed.
Logan 16 for $10 has a comment about your laugh, CJ, and he says that Dunning-Kruger laugh though. Yes,
Yes.
absolutely. If we look at the Dunning-Kruger chart, CJ,
It doesn't matter. You can't prove the core of the Earth exists.
you
I don't know
exist.
why you're talking.
You are what we refer to as a top lefter. You exist on the top left of that chart at the peak of Mount Stupid.
That's awesome.
And that is where you exist on the Dunning-Kruger chart. So yes, you are what we refer to as a top lefter.
I'm stealing that fight. That's brilliant.
Ranger Man
you guys
94.
work on proving the core and proving gravity. You let me know how that Dunning-Kruger effect works. Okay?
I mean,
I already
the
did.
mathematical law of gravity
Hey.
is a proof of gravity.
Oh, and
because,
if anyone in the chat wants to come on the Discord later, and I'll show you all the evidence you want. Okay?
Hey,
Anyone in the chat,
I already did.
come on the Discord,
I already
and I'll
did.
show you all of it
And
later. Okay?
I already did. I did it 3 times. Watch the video back, and maybe you'll get it then.
Right. And then we've got Rangerman 9404 for $6.66. Hail Sagan. We can prove the core. Can you prove your deity?
Oh, can I prove my God? My God's above the dome. You want to see him? You better get to work.
No.
I'm not joking.
The question
I'm
there
not
was.
joking.
The question there was, can
if
you
wanna see
prove
God,
your?
He's not going to come to you.
That's
If you want to see, he's not going to. You
It's
got
a
to
cool
go to
story.
him.
It is
I
a
know
cool
the
story, bro.
direction.
It is a cool story.
I can't
bro.
go to him. The dome.
But
I can't go to him. The dome is in the way.
There's a passageway, you idiot. Read the textbooks.
The question was, can you prove your deity? Yes or no?
Can I prove it? I can't bring him down. He has free will.
No. So was that a no? You can't prove your deity.
Of course I can't.
Lovely.
I can't bring him down.
Cool.
Boom.
That's
Done.
all we
Will.
needed.
Done. That's all. That's it.
Then Rangerman 944 for another $2 says there is no evidence of a brain in CJ's head. You have evidence of a brain in your head, CJ?
I don't know. This guy sounds like an idiot. He sounds stupid.
Be careful.
He
No.
doesn't seem to have
Be careful. Be careful. This is a logic. This is a logic trap.
Yep. I mean,
Oh God! Did it freeze again?
no.
Froze again.
I don't think it's
No,
frozen.
I'm still live. Craig, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm still live. I can see myself.
Let's see where he's gone. Where have I lost his feed to? It's there. Cool, CJ, Open Cool Manager. Yep, he's disconnected. Just refresh it, he'll come back. I honestly think it's because the limitations being put on broadband and stuff at the moment.
Oh, I get that.
Yeah, you back, CJ?
Okay. All right, I'm back.
Right, okay. Right, next one from Matt Rock for £2. Says, CJ, show us all the water under Earth, as that is your claim.
Oh, otherwise, you can YouTube this. It's happening more in like
You
the
can
Middle
YouTube
East.
it.
What's happening is the ground is actually breaking apart, and everything that's coming out is water. It's not lava. It's water. You can look this up in India.
Wait, so you don't get lava coming out of like volcanoes and shit? You get water?
No. Lava exists. Lava exists. I'm not saying that, but based off all the evidence, this place is mostly water under the earth, and then some lava.
I mean, you think giants existed, a ancient tree held up the dome is the reason why we now have a pressure gradient, but at least you don't think that lava's fake. It's good to know there's limits. Brad Dubé, if that is your surname, I apologize for what Eric did to your good name. For $10, says CJ, for a guy claiming to be needing visual proof of a solid core, you don't seem to have an issue of no visual proof of God or anything else from the Bible.
Okay, Craig already knows the answer I'm going to give. Craig already knows the answer I'm going to give to this because I think it's.
I mean, I'm always surprised by stupidity. I don't know why I should be.
Yeah,
but
I
carry
said
on.
this already. God came to visit me.
Oh, of course.
God came to visit me.
Wow.
Did he look like Keanu Reeves or no? It was Alanis Morissette, right? It was Alanis Morissette.
This is the personal. Remember how you said objective truth and personal truth? This is my personal truth that I experienced. He came to visit me, not you guys. You guys are losers. He came to visit me.
And how high were you on? I'm assuming crack, meth, bath salt.
Yeah. You know, there's a video on you about drugs, right? There's a video online about you doing drugs and shit, right?
I'm sure there it is. I lost count at about 500 about the video.
There's a video online talking about you doing drugs and then some type of arrest of some kind. I'm not sure if it's true.
Oh, yeah. When I started
Don't talk about drugs when it comes to me.
Hey,
okay?
dude.
Don't talk about drugs when it comes to me.
Dude, me and a guy called Steven Steen started a rumor that I was arrested for meth to see how far the flat earthers would take it. And like all things, they ran with the stupid.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it's true.
I remember that.
It's fake. All right.
I could show you the messages from between me and Steven Steen when we were talking about starting.
I saw the video like months ago, and I'm just like, I don't even know if this is true or not.
Oh, I
don't even know. I didn't know. I wasn't sure.
But I mean, so you were saying you weren't high when you hallucinated that God came to you?
Yeah, of course. Come on.
Do you regularly check the batteries in your carbon monoxide detector?
Hey, Craig, can I ask you, CJ? Can I ask you a quick question?
What's the question?
CJ, can I ask you something real fast? We'll get back to the super chats. So you said something intellectually honest there. You said that you meeting God was your personal truth. That is absolutely correct. That is your personal truth. Okay. So what can we take from that being? Okay, you can't. It's completely and totally subjective.
It's going to come down to a choice. Choose to believe me or choose not to.
I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the subjective nature of your personal truth. Okay? So, your personal truth is subjective because it is influenced by your interpretations of phenomena and your emotions at the time and various other, human things. The problem is how can you derive truth from something you know is fundamentally inappropriate to use as empirical evidence?
Of course, I'm not using this one as empirical. This is one of the things I'm not. Everything else that I've used, that pictures, photos, videos, stuff like everything else that I use, I'm using it as empirical evidence. This is the one thing that I will literally say, this is not empirical. This is personal. This is me saying it. Now it's just going to come down to whether the people want to believe it or not. And it's not just me. It's not like I'm like some extra special person. God has visited other people. Okay? So this isn't some like, hey, look, I'm special, extra me.
No, it was just an event. He came to me. He wanted to see me. And on top of that, I kind of asked him. I just didn't expect him to come, honestly. I honestly didn't expect him to come. But he did. So that was a very... You ever see a girl in a concert? When they scream and they see
I
like their
literally
singer?
zoned out whilst he was talking there.
You telling me you put you,
No, have
you
you ever seen a
reacted to
girl at a
God like
concert?
you reacted? Does God look like Elvis?
Yeah, I basically reacted like a little ass girl at a concert. Like, ah!
Well, let me ask you one
I
quick
can see-
question, CJ.
I can see you.
Why
I
doesn't
can
God
see you
ever?
making that noise in your bedroom.
Why doesn't God ever reveal Himself to anyone that's sane?
Shut up, dude. Shut up.
Okay. No. Anyway, moving on to the next question. Draco Fire for $2 says, "This is a dumpster fire if ever I've seen one." Yes, guys, this is my life now.
Hey, tell him to prove the core of the earth, and there. If he can do it,
Prove
Already
I'll
did.
believe him, but I know he can't.
Prove the cardio.
Already did. Already did, dude. I'm
Nope.
sorry that you can't see it, but like Professor
Sorry, you
Dave
gotta dig
says,
4,000
that's
miles.
not my
I will
problem.
literally buy you the shovel. I will literally buy you the shovel to dig 4,000 miles. Okay.
Then
Alright,
we've
if
got
you can do it, go for it.
Rangerman 9404 for $6.66. Hail Sagan says, "It says slow mode on. Is that for the chat or CJ's brain? Pretty sure both. Although I have no control over the processing limitations of CJ's brain." Then we got the banner of Humura Akemi for $5. Says, "Nothing fails like Bible history." What do you think about that, CJ?
The Bible is the literal truth. Always was the truth. I can't believe I didn't take it literally when I was young. I was told not to.
Take it
Biggest
literally.
mistake of my damn life. Yeah.
So,
I take it literally now.
hey,
Like, you guys want to go over those like moral
how many
passages?
talking
You know,
snakes
you guys
have-
talk
how
about
many-
those moral
dude,
passages.
Dude, how many talking snakes have you met? Or even better, talking bushes of fire?
What are you talking?
That
We
when
went
you
over
were
this, didn't we?
when you
We
were
went over
when
this, didn't we,
when
Craig?
yeah, talking snakes and talking donkeys and bushes that talk to you when they're on fire when you're not on DMT.
And literally
No, no,
freezing
no.
time. I mean, I would
No, no.
love that
Yeah.
superpower.
It's not a talking
Despite
snake.
despite the
It's a,
despite
it's
the
a
Oh,
seraphim
oh,
angel.
and that whole thing
It's
about
not a
pi
talking
being
snake.
3.
Wait, hang
Um,
on a sec, Craig. Hang on a sec, Craig. You just said it's not a talking snake?
It's not a talking snake. It's a seraphim angel. Seraphim angels have lizard-like qualities.
That makes
but they
so
can
much
stand
more
up and have
sense.
arms.
Wow. Okay.
You didn't know?
I'll let that stand. I'll let that
Convinced.
stand
Yeah,
right
look
there.
at the seraphim angels. They have like lizard-like qualities. That's why he calls them the serpent.
You do,
But he can
dude.
stand up
You
and
do
walk and
realize?
talk.
Hey, I'm just throwing this out there. You do realize that when you talk about seraphim and the choirs of angels and various stuff like that, you do realize that you're basically cribbing from Dante and Canterbury Tales and Paradise Lost and all that. That's not in the Bible.
Dante's Inferno was an awesome game.
That is an awesome game,
No,
wasn't
no.
it?
Yeah.
I've heard that
You-
before from Non Sequitur when I debated them also about the whole Dante thing.
Non sequitur.
And then I looked into
They were correct.
I debated
None of this,
the
all of this,
non-sequiturs.
all of this stuff comes from the apocrypha that surrounds the Bible. This is not physically in the Bible itself. You do realize that, right? That this is all stuff that was written
Yeah, I
external
know.
of the Bible. And what about the what
Yeah,
about the
just
books of the Bible that were
Enoch,
left
the book of
out,
Joshua,
like the
book of
Gospel of?
Jubilee.
No, what about the stuff that was left out of the Bible, like the Gospel of Judas?
Yeah.
which
What
actually
about the
fits,
Quran?
which actually
That was
fits.
also left. That was also left,
Which
left
actually-
out too. The book of Enoch was left out.
But
book
the
of Joshua
Gospel
was
of
left out.
Judas
The book
actually,
of Jubilee
the
was
Gospel
left
of
out.
Judas actually fits. The Gospel of Judas actually fits with Judaic polytheism, early Judaic polytheism. Why was that left out?
Oh no. The other gods are real, and my God kicked their ass.
Oh, wait.
In the book, it's in
I
the Bible.
wish
The
I wish I had
monolithic
tickets to
God
that.
is real, yet other gods are also.
Yeah, my God acknowledges them. He's like he even says, "I'm above them." These other
Above
ones are
who?
real. I'm
Praise
above them.
be the
I
sweet
kick their
lords
ass.
of flat Earth.
Did God mention Odin?
You
Did God
need to
mention
read
Odin?
the Bible and take it for what it
Wait a
says.
second. Did God mention Odin? Did God mention Odin? Did God mention
Yeah,
Zeus?
Odin's real. Yeah, Zeus
No,
is real.
did God mention them? Were they mentioned in the Bible?
Yes, they're mentioned in the Bible, but in a different way. Let's
Under
just say
what
that.
under what name?
Okay, here. They are known as the sons of God.
So
They
so
they are known
so
as the sons of
basically
God.
you're repeating Greek mythology and how the gods rose up against the Titans and Zeus turned against Kronos and locked him in Tartarus.
Yeah, like all the Greek story, the Norse story, all of these stories are real. Yeah, the Titan stories about the ancient past are real, and they're all connected to the Bible.
Um,
It's
I
one
don't need
big
to say
story.
it.
It's
Do
not
you?
different. These aren't different religions. These are
Wow,
one big story.
wow. Okay, okay.
Right.
We
Anyway,
have no
on,
evidence to support that, but
I
okay.
believe in
on to the
religion.
next question. On to the next question.
Super chat,
Um,
please.
yeah. So we have Sleepy Dan for $2 says, CJ, why just one footprint? Where's the left foot?
Oh no no
I
no!
didn't even
There's some
think of
in the
that.
back. There's some in the back.
There's
Yeah, I
some
can show
in
you.
the
I can
back.
show you one. I can show you
Craig, there isn't.
the
There's
one
there's no
from.
further pictures of that other
Am
than
I
that
correct?
one.
It's from India. There's actually steps, which I was
No,
surprised
dude,
at.
that picture was not from India. That picture was in China. That was in
No,
Gumshoe,
no, I'm talking
China.
about a different one. I'm talking about a different one. I'm talking about a different one. Yeah, and it has different footprints, and I was like, oh, okay, all right. Because people brought that up to me, and I'm like, why isn't
Cool.
there more footprints and stuff like that? And I'm
Why is
just
there
like,
no, why
okay.
isn't there
And then
why isn't there pictures of like both the footprints together? And where's the
oh,
rest
there
of the
are.
footprints? Did they like just float the rest of the time, or
And why are they not
No, there
anatomically
are. Some
correct?
of them, for
yeah?
some reason, some of them are just one, and I think it has to do with the fact of the flood, because they got buried in the
Uh,
flood. So
So
no, they
obviously,
so
didn't.
so I just want to paraphrase
No,
you
they
here.
didn't.
Magic.
Magic, yes,
it
magic
Cool.
works.
doesn't
Right.
matter. I said
Moving
they
on.
were
Moving
buried
on.
in the flood. You're
Spike.
telling me a human can't be buried in the flood and the footprint be found? Come
There
on,
was
that's
no
common
evidence of a
sense.
flood. Actually, I'm going to go one step further. There is no evidence of the flood, but one step further, the flood myth predates the Bible.
No, it doesn't.
The
You're talking about
Oh,
the
it most
Sumerians,
definitely
right?
does.
no,
You're
no,
talking
the
about the Anunnaki,
Akkadians.
right?
No, the Akkadians had a flood myth, and they transferred it to the Sumerians, and they transferred it to and it literally worked its way
No,
down.
no, no, no,
The
no.
epic of Gilgamesh predates the Bible,
Yeah.
and there was a
No, no,
flood myth
no. The
in that
Epic
one.
of
The
Gilgamesh
Bible
is
plagiarized it.
before the
Sorry,
flood.
but the Bible authors plagiarized that shit from the Epic of Gilgamesh.
No, 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 no. Gilgamesh is
Yes, yes,
real.
yes, 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 yes.
The
Okay.
Bible is
Right.
before the flood. The Sumerian text is in the Bible. They talk about the Anunnaki in the Bible.
There is
Did
no
you
evidence of a
know?
flood. There's no evidence of a
They
global
Right.
talk about
deluge.
the
I'm
Anunnaki
sorry.
in the Bible from the
Anyway. Right.
Sumerian
Right.
text.
Sorry.
Anyway.
It's one event.
Stop. Moving on to the
Book
next
says it.
question.
Book says a thing.
Yeah,
Book says a
well done,
thing.
Professor Dave. A book says a thing. Right, Spike Smith for $5 says, CJ, what is your highest educational level and/or professional qualifications to support the accuracy of your interpretations of tectonics, cores, footprints, Bible, etc.?
Oh, me. I work in healthcare. Went to school, then went to a schooling program, then started working in healthcare. That's it. That's pretty much my schooling, and I'm not going to go into like the grave details of like,
Cool.
oh, I went to
So
this
you
college
wouldn't
or
know
this and that.
anything about
No.
seismic studies or anything then. Cool, that's all we needed from that. Moving on, Sleet for $6.66, Hail Sagan, says, you present giant footprints. Do giants ever sit down? I want to see giant butt prints.
Yeah, I can show you a giant penis.
Oh God!
can show you a
Please
giant
don't! Please don't! I do
Do you
not
want to
want
see
my
it?
channel. No, it's cool.
No.
I'm gonna take your
No, you
word.
know I have it. You
I'm
know
no.
for a fact
We
I
don't
have
want to
it.
see it.
You know
We
what?
don't want to see it.
I'm
and
gonna
it's not
take your
giant.
yeah. I'm gonna take your word that you've got a giant's penis,
Yeah. I
and
can show
we're
you a
just gonna
giant
move
butt, a
on.
vagina, a penis, tits.
Right. So
Yeah. I'll show you some dirty ass shit. Okay.
I think he's confusing. I'm thinking he's confusing his porn predilection for religion,
yeah.
or maybe they're the same.
Okay. So then
Oh, and
we've
the whole
got.
moral. Okay, hold on. Give me
No,
a
you
verse
lost
in
me.
the Bible
Sorry,
where you think God is immoral.
CJ, you lost your shot. You lost your shot at the morality of the Bible. Next super chat, please.
Yeah. Next super chat
All
is
right, next super
from
chat.
Robert Gassman for $2. No, sorry, the one before that. Rangerman944 for $2 says atheism isn't a religion. Saint Darwin told me so.
Yeah. Hey, to anyone in the chat, if you want to know about the morality of God, like get all the verses you can, and then bring them to me, and I'll answer for you. Okay?
Don't
Yeah,
need to bring it
cool.
to you.
All
You
of
have a
you,
Bible.
it's not a joke. Come to the Discord and bring all the verses that where you think God is being a cruel and vindictive person. Okay, and bring it to me.
Go out and kill all the Mennonites and
Non-believers.
their children, and leave
The
none alive.
Amalekites. First Samuel
The
15
Amalekites,
to
sorry.
15:3 or 15:2.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
an advocation. That's an advocation of genocide.
Yeah,
Uh,
That's
I know it
immoral.
is.
yeah.
Now, why?
That's immoral.
Why?
Anyway, moving on. Robert
No.
Gassman.
The
Because
question is,
Anyway,
why do you
murder
think
is
moving
God
immoral.
on.
decided to kill?
Moving on. Robert Gassman for $2 says, "Are all these people you debate children? No, they all just have strange squeaky voices like him and Nathan Thompson and Sleeping Warrior. They all just sound weird." Bella Charge for $2 says, "I drink and I know things. I need to drink when talking to these people. Trust me." Anyway, moving on. The Athens 619 for $5 says, "This is hell. Hell, Michigan." Is Michigan hell? I imagine so. Matt Rock for $2 says, "CJ, are you wearing mixed fabrics? Then it's time to stone you."
Yep. Time to die.
I have no idea. I'm gonna be honest. I have no fucking idea.
I can believe that. I absolutely can believe that. Thinker Phil for $5 says, "I looked up the giant footprint. It's not photoshopped or CGI, but it's known to be carved out by a man as a tourist attraction." So there you go.
Oh, that's excellent. If that, I'll look into that. And I will update my information with that. Thank you, whoever in the live chat did that.
That was
That's
Thinker
awesome.
Phil.
I can adjust my information now that I have that info. Thank you so much.
That's what we do.
He got further in his research than I did.
Then we've got... Oh, God, I've lost my spot. Bear with me. MS Jessa for €2 says, "Real girl power is against flirts. Science is cool." Science is bloody cool. Without science, I wouldn't have video games, and they're awesome. Peter Miss Prime for $5 says, "I'm interested to see what he thinks about Mount Tiburon Gargan in Queensland, Australia. Google and please show him for a laugh." Let me get that up and ask him his opinion. I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong. I probably did. Oh, right, okay. All right, yeah, let's see what he thinks of this.
Of what? Let me see this.
One sec. I'm just getting it up.
What is it called?
I probably
Tiburon Gargan?
Tiburon Gargan.
Oh, that's a
I
family.
don't see anything.
It's so cute.
Do you not see the family?
I
of
can.
giants?
I don't know what that is.
I can
don't
see the
anything.
family of giants.
It could be.
I
It could possibly.
I can see the family of giants. I see a daddy. I see a mommy. I see a child, and I see an uncle twice removed.
No, I don't see anything.
Wow.
Really? Now, all joking aside, you don't see the pareidolia there? Head, shoulders,
look, it's not
arms.
a joke. There's not enough detail in it for me to be like, okay, yeah, this
Okay,
is 100% it.
dude, you're a Poe. You're a Poe. Yeah, that's it.
No,
You just proved it right there.
I just think he is this dumb.
I think he's a Poe. He just straight proved it right there.
Okay.
He does it. He does it
God.
for respect to
I've
the
been
Lord.
called Poe,
He's doing it.
Kruger. I've been called so many things. Oh my God,
He's
it
doing.
gets so old.
He's doing it. He's doing it for the
old.
Lord.
Right, and we've got Brad Dubay for $2 says, "The Bible does not have pictures equals it's not evidence." 100% agree with that.
Yeah, but the science book has a picture of a core that it can't prove, and that's evidence, right?
Yeah.
No, it has a
yeah,
diagram. It has a diagram.
Dumbass.
No,
Like-
it has a diagram that is an
That's
interpretation of the
right.
data points that we have collected.
I've got
Interpretation.
I've got comic books of
Hypothesis.
Batman, and you guys can't prove that I'm not Batman. I'm not saying I am Batman, but you've never seen me and Batman in the same room at the same time. So,
This
Is
is
your name
very
Bruce
true.
Wayne?
David Keller for $2 says, "CJ, what comes first, the chicken or the egg?"
Are you seriously asking this question? No, I'm not answering this stupid ass fucking question. It's retarded.
Because why? Can you? Can you answer it?
Oh no, of course he can.
God created what first? The animals, right?
Oh goodness.
Right? Okay then.
Really?
Yeah. Common sense.
Lovely. Robert Gatzman for
what about
$5 says, dumb.
Okay.
I prefer he's referring to CJ. Where do meteors come from?
Meteors and comets don't exist. I thought they did, but
Fuck
once
me.
I found out that there was 190 meteor, 100, I think it's 190 miles, a crater, literally 190 miles. Where's the rock? Because I
Wait,
promise you, it's the rock must be so huge you
190,
can't pick it up.
190
Yeah,
mile crater?
yeah. That's how big it
Are you
is,
talking?
which means that
Oh,
rock
wait,
must be huge. Which means, where is it? Where's
hang
the
on a
giant
sec.
rock that they can't? They shouldn't be able to move it with any equipment whatsoever. Where's the
You
rock?
realize that the meteorite is destroyed when it strikes the Earth, right?
Boom.
That the crater
Are,
is
are,
the crater
hold on,
is
hold on.
lined
Are
with
you literally
the
trying to
crater.
tell me
No,
that?
CJ, the crater is lined with the remnants of the meteorite. Because the meteorite is literally just a meteorite or an asteroid is literally a collection of rock that is barely held together. The minute it hits our atmosphere, they typically explode or they incinerate. But if one is large enough to penetrate our atmosphere and it hits the Earth, they literally they implode on themselves. They just fall apart because they're just collections of rock. And they hit with that
No,
impact, and they explode. They create the crater, and they deposit their remains all over the crater.
We're giving him free science
no.
lessons. We need to stop
There,
this.
Yeah,
there
I mean
looks
that's
there looks
obvious.
to be like there is a in the center. There looks to be like there is
Right.
an impact or something there that happened. I'm not
Okay.
sure what happened.
All right. Moving on
But
to the next
where
one.
is this giant? You keep saying it's breaking up in the atmosphere. Sorry,
Yeah.
no evidence of that.
Oh, okay. You're
Second,
talking about
Right.
you're talking about the Vertifort crater, the Vertifort crater in
yeah,
South
yeah.
Africa.
Where the hell's the rock?
Yeah,
That rock should be huge,
yeah.
gigantic.
No.
Where is it?
That
Nowhere to be
it's an
found. Did it
impact.
just walk off?
That rock.
Did it
No,
just walk off?
okay. The rock was destroyed when it struck the Earth. The crater itself, the crater itself is packed with the remnants of that meteorite or asteroid or whichever
Okay.
one. It's most likely it's a verified impact crater. Yeah,
Right.
Well, they should be
what
able to
remains
dig
of
in
it
the
is
ground.
blasted all over the crater itself.
Okay. Right.
They should
Moving
be
on.
able to dig in the
All right.
ground, and there should be a in the center,
All right, CJ.
around the
Okay.
center
Okay.
area.
Okay. Right. Moving
There
on.
should be a giant rock,
Moving on. Right.
huge.
Moving on.
Where is it?
No,
Moving
there
on.
won't. You don't
Come on,
understand
guys.
these things.
Right, C4 for $5 says, I hope you're all well and safe while we listen to this dog shit nugget. Also, CJ, we all know why you're an idiot. Translator Carmanian for $5 says, CJ does a fraction of the homework that actual scholars do and expects to be given equal credibility. Yet, do you have any kind of reference to your name about your credentials to talk about the veracity of the Bible or anything like that?
Oh, the veracity of the Bible?
No, the veracity
Why
of your
would
qualifications to talk about the Bible. Like, have you studied the Bible? Do you have a theology degree? You
I
know,
studied religion in general, not just the Bible, for about 4 to 5 years. Which means I studied.
to what level?
let
Did you
me-
get
let
a
me-
degree in religious studies or?
No, I didn't get a degree. I studied on my own, of course. I
Oh, right,
studied
so
on
you
my
looked
own.
at some
CJ,
YouTube stuff. Right, cool.
CJ, you couldn't even
Look,
tell me the difference between.
I'll give you a list of some of the books that I've started to that I've read.
It's
through.
cool.
CJ,
We don't
CJ.
need that list.
No,
honestly.
CJ, you couldn't even tell me the difference between a Calvinist and an Arminian and an Arminianist. You couldn't even tell me the difference between those two, and those two are fundamental to Christianity.
Do you know why? Do you know why he couldn't tell you about those? Because he's no fucking idea what you were talking about.
Like you literally couldn't tell me those things. That's fundamental shit.
Brad
That's really the
Wilson.
basis of your belief structure.
You need to understand. You know how there's a
Right.
bunch of different denominations.
Dude, man, I
You
don't
know
even
how there's a
understand
bunch
shit
of
that comes out of your fucking mouth.
Listen.
All right.
You know how there's
No,
CJ,
no.
CJ,
Next
CJ.
super
Right,
chat.
next,
I take no
CJ. Come on,
subscription to
moving
any of
on.
them.
No,
Brad
the live
Wilson.
chat is infinitely more entertaining.
Brad Wilson for $5 New Zealand dollars says, CJ, if you look to the Bible as a basis for your morality, may I also suggest the Three Little Pigs? It's just as valid, definitely. Kang24 for $5 New Zealand dollars says, question for JL, could God create a rock that he could not lift?
I love that. If you, the difference with apologists creating a maximal God in response to that logical argument. I don't claim there's a God, so Whether or not he can create whatever I don't think about these things. But I am familiar with that argument. Could God create a burrito so spicy he couldn't eat it? Yeah.
I can
But
eat a spicy burrito.
it's apologists that argument led to apologists creating the maximally powerful God instead of the omni God. So now we have two gods, the maximal God and the omni God. And which one do you follow? So
Neither. They're both douches.
he follows the omni God.
Gently's channel for £5 says, "Were the giant babies breastfed, and where can I get me one of those?" What, the giant? You want a giant baby, or you want to be breastfed by the person that breastfed the giant baby? Because equally is both are equally disturbing.
It's so salty.
Red Cosmos Devil for $5 says, "Curious, if God tells you to kill someone, would you do it? And strength of gravity is determined by object's mass, not the core." Shake my head. But we'll stick with the question, CJ. Yeah, so if God appeared to you again, as he's obviously talked to you before, so if God just appeared to you and went, "Go and kill the next person you see," would you go and do it?
He would tell me the reason first.
What if he said,
honestly, CJ?
I would kill.
Answer honestly, CJ.
You know that right now.
There's no reason.
I'm letting you
there's
all
no
know
reason.
this right now.
There's no reason.
I would
He just
kill.
Right,
So,
cool.
Get it out of your head that I
Red
wouldn't.
fucking flag.
Yeah, big time.
I'm not like
Kang
you guys.
24 for
think
5
like
New
you
Zealand
guys.
dollars says, "God owes us all an apology for creating this idiot." Yes, absolutely. Sleet 666 for 5 Australian dollars says, "Craig, NASA called but you were busy. I took a message. The ISS reported they couldn't see the dumpster fire. They just need to look again because it's definitely visible from space." Raven Zero $5 says, "CJ, a smartphone."
You can't even prove space. You can't even prove space.
Yes,
He's
we
an
can.
idiot.
Cool.
He
Yes, we
hasn't
can.
even been to space. No, he can't.
Genetic fallacy. Raven Zero for $5
Argument for
says,
incredulity, man.
"CJ, a smartphone
Not a
has
single one of you have been to space.
CJ, a smartphone has 3 billion transistors on it the size of a fingernail. Do you believe that science built that, or is it magic to you?"
What? Hold on. Is this a serious question?
No,
No,
he's
I
quite
believe
This cat's got to
mocking
practice
you.
active listening.
I don't believe science.
This dude's got to
built it.
practice
I
active
believe the
listening,
human
man.
race built
You
it,
need.
not science.
Fuck me. He
We-
just
Because that's what the human
What?
race does.
What
We
the-
build.
Science didn't build it. The human race did. Brilliant. Wow. I could not have
Okay.
asked.
Okay.
Guys, this is why
We'll let
writing the
that
content
stand.
is
Where did
easy.
science come from? Where did our
If
science
that's
come from?
no, CJ, no. If that's the hill you want to die on, dude, go for it.
Yeah, we're
No,
gonna
no,
move.
no,
No,
no. Where
we're
did
gonna
our
move
science
on.
come from?
We're
Do
gonna
you
move
know?
on from that lovely
No, we're
statement.
moving on, dude.
Sarah,
Can't retract it now.
Sarah for $5 says,
Yeah, no.
can we get a few of the people visited by God to describe him and see how well they match each other? Yeah, I imagine God.
I bet
just
they're all.
Yeah,
I bet they're all white.
unless you are, say, Chinese, and then I bet God's Chinese. Brad Dubay for $10 says, "CJ, explain how so many Christian denominations when there is only one Bible, especially where each of them have to cherry pick which is literal and what is to be interpreted."
Oh, that comes from purposely starting confusion. If I remember correctly, I think Ken Hovind talked about this. Two guys started to write a different Bible.
Yeah, but
And
Ken
it was
Hovind
similar
said
to
flat
the
earthers are
original.
idiots,
It was-
so...
No, it was similar to basically the original, but with a few like screw ups, and it was like kind of done on purpose. And basically, what happens is you can make money now if your Bible is 10 or 15% different from the original version. So basically, people literally started making different versions of the Bible just to make money. And that's what happened. And now we have so many of these different versions that sometimes it just confuses people. And
Okay,
I understand that.
Right.
Same thing
Citation
happened to the
needed.
Quran.
Citation fucking needed. Kango24 for 10 New Zealand dollars says, "I refuse to prove that I exist, says God, for proof denies faith, and without faith I am nothing. CJ, your visit with God might have killed God in a puff of logic. Big shout out to Douglas Adams." Yeah.
What are you talking about? God answers prayers, right? He's supposed to answer prayers.
No,
I asked
he
him
really
to come
doesn't.
visit. That's a prayer answer.
No, he doesn't.
So
No, he
one's
doesn't. There's
listening when you pray.
there's actual verifiable science that he doesn't.
No.
I literally prayed for a car and got it, and that's not a joke. Now the car's gone.
Hey,
you
guess what?
pray-
Hey,
Car accident.
CJ, I've got something
Yeah?
for you. I got something for you, CJ. I don't believe you.
Pray for a brain
How's
cell.
I
that?
know.
The
But
banner.
what?
You
I
can use
love
it.
It's
Moving
my
on.
personal
You can use
experience,
it.
and I freaking love it.
You can flat out not believe me. Can I flat out not believe you?
Well, when you prove the core, I'll start to believe you.
Anyway,
I already did.
the
So,
banner of
good to go.
Homura Akimi for $5 says, "In Paradise Lost, Satan is the protagonist." Yeah, he is. Robert Gassman for $2 says, "Crom." I'm not sure why, but thank you. Kang24 for $5 says, "My super chats are for why you are an idiot, CJ, not JL." Yeah, I assumed you meant CJ and replaced it for you, but thank you anyway. Area 85 Restorations for $5 says, "I'm an engineer working for Blue Origin. If the globe lie is an attempt to hide God or whatever, then why are most of my co-workers Christian?"
Ooh,
No, what does that have to do with anything?
It's just an honest observation, I guess.
that's a serious observation, dude, that you need to contend with.
Yeah, okay, they're engineers, they're Christian. What about it?
They don't think the Bible says the earth is flat.
He just
Okay,
doesn't
they don't
get it,
think
does
that. That's their belief. They don't. I'm not forcing anyone to believe. Like people, you guys think I'm forcing these people to believe what I believe? No,
No,
I think they're wrong. Yeah, but
No,
guess what?
no,
I'm not.
no. You're not,
You're not doing
CJ. You're
anything.
not getting it. How do you rationalize the difference?
Anyway,
There's no rationalizing the difference. They just believe differently.
Okay.
anyway, moving on. Red
What the hell
Cosmos
do you want?
Devil.
You want me to change? You want me to change your beliefs? I can't do that. You're
We
going
don't
to
have
stay the way.
beliefs, but anyway, moving on. Red Cosmos Devil for
Yeah.
$2 says,
Yeah, sure.
FTFE, when do you upload vids? Is there a schedule? The honest answer for my scripted videos is as often as I can. They take a long time to write properly and produce. I'm only one man, and at the moment, my kids are home all of the time. So as often as I can, I try to get out at least one every couple of weeks. I'm going to try and do more, but I should have 2 out by the end of this week. So yeah. Anyway, moving on. Ranger Man 944 for $2 says, "The moral deity who condones slavery." Exactly.
No,
The
he doesn't. He only condones slavery of the Nephilim.
only so that's still condoning slavery. The Athens 619 for $2 says,
The
"This is
Nephilim,
a
not humans.
hell, Michigan." My bad. We know what you meant, dude. No worries. The Plot Hole for $2 says, "To help fan the dumpster fire." Thank you very much. Rangerman 944 for $5 says, "I'm using that meteorite CJ asked about as a TV stand." Shh, that's secret. NASA secrets. Not allowed to say that. And Nerd Angel for $1.99 says, "CJ, when God came on you, did he at least pay you?"
Oh, these
That's
stupid
funny.
super chats, man.
Yes, thank you for the super chats, guys. I really do appreciate it. Every time you super chat or support me by becoming a member or a patron, it allows me to continue to do this. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. But if you cannot support me in a financial way, the best way to help my channel is by sharing it on all the social medias, the Twitters, the Bebos, the MySpaces, Friends Reunited, all that good stuff. But I do appreciate the fact that you guys support me as much as you do. It means the world. We've had about 650 watching tonight. It's been absolutely great. Thank you, CJ, for for turning up, I guess. And thank you, JL, for another absolutely brilliant display of logic and reason. It's been a pleasure having you on
Thank
my
you.
channel.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Me and team want to get you on for an episode of SOS Week where we can talk about the your podcast and everything. That'll be fun.
Oh, awesome. Thank you.
CJ, any final thoughts before we close up for tonight?
Well, don't interrupt me. As long as he doesn't interrupt me, so I can say what I gotta say.
You've got 30 seconds.
Okay. So this whole time, I pretty much proved what I believe. I physically prove it. There's videos, pictures, everything. Okay. Anyone want to go look it up? You can go look it up yourself. Okay. So he hasn't proved anything. He couldn't even prove his science textbook. But that's how we're gonna leave it. And yeah, this debate was freaking easy. He couldn't even prove the core.
Easy.
Atheist man and their imaginary beliefs.
One more super chat before we go from Red Cosmos Devil for $2 says, "JL, you are really fun to listen to. Keep debating."
Thank you.
Thank you both for coming on tonight. I'm gonna go and play some COD. Hope maybe if teams around here play. maybe we'll stream. If not, maybe just come and play with us. But I'll have a new video out definitely by the end of the week, possibly 2 by the end of the week because I'm working on a couple. But we'll be back tomorrow on Team Skeptics channel for a little bit of a channel update and stuff. But remember, stupidity is not a right. Fight the flat earth.
Fight the flat. Fight the flat. Fight the flat.